Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you all here. It is a very nice sunny day, but cooler, which is good. I got myself, a sad cup of coffee. But, I am sitting here with friends and going to talk about various states of nonsense and ridiculity of the world today. Is that a
Yes,
word? It is now.
might as well be. Yeah.
Might as well be. I made it one. What's that? Who is that boxing promoter that black guy with a big crazy Einstein hair, and you make up words left and right? Who is that guy? Don something.
Don King.
Don King. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Nice.
No, I don't know. I don't think I want to be that guy. I rescind that offer. But nevertheless, uh, it was a very busy weekend for me. But things got done that needed done, so that's good. How was your weekend?
Wonderful. If for some reason somebody forgot to tell the weather gods
Uh
that
huh.
it's fall now,
Oh,
it
I
doesn't
see.
need to be 95 degrees.
Oh, I
But they've
see.
decided that they're going to bless us with a nice little late summer here. Um,
Is that what we used to call
so
an Indian summer?
yeah, that's right. But it was extremely hot all weekend. But even still, the wife and I did get out a little bit, do a little something, something. We went to there's every year this pretty much this weekend we go to the Apple I can't even say the words.
Apple
Apple
butter.
Butter Festival. That's what it's called. There's because Ohio is the apple state. People don't realize, but
Is it?
Ohio is the apple state. We got apple orchards literally everywhere, and so there's this big apple orchard called McQueen's. That's not too far from here. They have this nice big festival. You can go there and get festival food. You can get some all sorts of apple confectionaries,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty
Well,
good
have you
time.
ever? Yeah.
Fortunately though, they do have like a thing where you can go in the orchard and pick your own apples.
Oh, that's nice.
However, because they've decided to be Jewish, apparently, it is now $30 American to go in
Wow.
there and pick half a bushel. I said, well, we're not doing that for $30 American. That's outrageous. So we didn't do that. But we
I
did
see.
walk around the other part of the orchard that you don't have to pay to get in. It's the part they've already harvested.
I see.
It's still
It
nice.
it is interesting that greed equals Jew. It's nice.
Yes.
It's been that way for a while, I guess.
A very long time. Since
Yeah.
about 5000 BC.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people got to find all the reasons they can to hate on the Jews. Let's just be fair.
I don't hate them for
Uh,
being greedy. They're just greedy. That
they
just is
are.
what it is.
But it is kind of interesting. But you know what the Jews, just since we're on the topic in the first 4 minutes, um, would you like to know what their greatest strength actually is that everyone seems to overlook?
Tribalism.
Yep,
Yeah, they're real good at
they
that.
they're tight. They look
Hmm.
out for each other. You can have, even though we have these images of them being greedy and sticklers and tight-fisted with their money and everything. If you're a Jew, another Jew will help you out in many, many ways and won't even blink an eye at it.
Right.
And think about this in your community. For instance, you and I would be what? I don't know. I'm half Celtic and half Aryan, right? Don't
Hmm.
have any Latin in me, thank God, or any of the Slavic. But how many random Scandinavian German types or Celtic types would offer a helping hand to you?
Um, Randoms? Well,
Yeah, just random.
it
Yeah,
depends. Are we talking Americans or are we talking over in Europe? Because in Europe, they're all bastard people.
that's true. But I
That's why we
mean,
left
just
them
in
over there.
general, you might
In
occasionally
in
get someone
in
nice.
America, no, we typically do. Well, at least in the Midwest. I don't know about the rest of the country, but where I'm at, we try to if we see somebody in actual trouble. One of the problems is
No,
you
I
have
don't mean like that. A lot of humans will help other people. The only people I know that really won't help a human in danger is like Chinese or something like that. No, I mean like say you're in financial hard times and you just need a job, but there's no job for you, but shit will make one for you.
I mean, I've had that happen.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not an everyday thing. But with them,
No, no,
it
no. Yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
It
No, you're
is.
right. when it
and
comes to their group,
there
there might
that's
not
their
be a
strength.
group on Earth that's more what's the word
Insular.
we're looking for? Yes, there you go. They look out for each other in a way that nobody else. They even have a little
Yeah.
term for it called MOT, member of tribe.
Yeah.
So if a Jew decides to try and marry someone who's not a Jew, that's their little thing. You're marrying out of MOT. I only know this because I've watched some podcasts and watched two Jewish people talk to each other about it. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, got little
Yeah.
terms for it, huh?"
Yeah. Well, if you, I mean, they've done pretty good. Certain groups of them pretty good job of keeping themselves blood pure, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, they do that, and you complain all you want, but you can see the proofs in the pudding,
Hmm.
right? Because everybody else wants to come up with all these other reasons why they're successful. But I think right there is your main one.
That's it.
Yeah, it is. Also, I would remind you there was a young gentleman long ago, young fella.
Hmm.
He had a pot on his head, as far as I understood, and
Mm,
traveled across America barefoot on his very little own lonesome,
that's right.
and planted all the apple trees. His name is
That's right.
Johnny
You know
Appleseed.
where he was from? Ohio.
No, no, I
Hmm.
believe he was from
No,
Manchester, England.
no. Well, yeah, but where did he start? Is what I mean. He started in Ohio
All right, fine. Go
and
ahead, Ohio.
went right down because you can just go from Ohio straight down south, no problem, real easy.
Yeah.
It's a nice straight shot. There's not a lot of stuff in the way because it's on the other side of the Appalachians.
Yeah, that's the big
Yeah.
point. Well, you know why though? The legitimate reason, do you know why?
What's that?
The wagon trains.
Yeah.
A lot of them
Yeah.
left out of Ohio, and what they would do is they
Yep.
went along the way. Here's an example of humans helping each other, as we were just talking about. They would
Yes, sir.
plant apple trees.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and they would just eat apples because apples are, they keep pretty well as long as you don't get them too exposed.
And there's a lot
And
of
so they
ways
would,
to preserve them, but I mean
yeah,
that's why you find apple trees all across America, even though they're not indigenous, is because
right.
the people in the wagon trains would plant them.
Yep.
So that's
It was
pretty
smart though.
nice. It is, but it's also looking after your fellow man,
Well, also think
which is
about this.
nice.
They knew they were eventually probably coming back, right? Because that's how things got moved around back in the day. These professional trains would Wagoneers would just go back and forth. So if they plant a tree now, next time they come back, it might have some apples for them. Thinking ahead. We're thinking ahead, Chester.
They were, but they were
Yeah,
also being Christian Protestants.
that's right. They were
Um,
doing the very first commandment from God, besides have kids, was to take care of the earth.
yes,
Gave us
that's
to
right.
take care of this planet. They were
It,
doing that
it's
because
interesting.
there's no downside to more trees. That's there's no negative to that. That's all pluses all the way to the top.
That is
More
true.
trees is good.
That is true. And one of the things we had to deal with, and this is a very interesting point you just made,
Mhm.
because the Spanish, you know, they're supposed to be Christians too, right?
Yep.
Although,
Well,
that's
Catholics,
questionable.
but yeah,
But one of the big problems that the English and even the French had was the fact that the Spanish were just freaking delogging everything at a
that's right.
radical rate.
Yep.
And trying to keep up with that reforesting, they in some ways they never caught up really.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Spanish did not care one iota about
Well,
managing their earth at all, dude.
they did it to Spain. That's why they had to leave, or not, go and find other places because they just harvested it to death.
They did.
Uh,
Yeah,
and that's very unchristian, by the way. This is why I've said it. I've said it on here. I'll say it forever. The conservative position should be environmentalism. Should be to
it
protect
is.
and preserve
It
the
is.
environment.
Go tell Antifa they should all become Christians.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Go be hardcore Christians
yeah,
and go out there and protect nature. It was
that's
given
right.
to you by God to protect.
That's right. Manage it and husband it.
Hmm.
Yeah. But speaking of the Antifas, and others of their ilk. I put in the thing today, Night Owls on We the People, and I thought I would take a opportunity to kind of talk about what does that mean, We the People,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Because it brings forth ideas of freedom, patriotism, But it also brings forward the idea of the the kind of invasive nature of democracy, right?
Yep.
Because when we say we the people, we mean we the people in our majority, right?
Yes.
So you have all these Antifa and, like I said, all their ilk. Recently, have been all carrying around "We the People" signs. They shift. They're professionally made for them by companies controlled by George Soros and others that
Hmm.
want to just create this absolute chaos for I'm sure very noble and good reasons.
Yeah.
But the thing with it is it's ironic, and I use that word correctly, because we the people did speak.
That's right. Pretty loudly, actually.
You
It
know,
got a little loud.
it did.
Uh, it
Um,
was a thunderous roar, I would say.
so it's ironic in the fact that they don't care anything at all about we the people, democracy,
No,
the
none.
idea of us all having the freedom to choose to speak, because they want we the people them only, meaning only
That's
their
right.
opinions apply. Because
Oligarchy.
that's right, they are oligarchs to the nth degree. But then again, that's what Democrats have become. But
Mhm.
socialist oligarchs.
You could make the case they always were, because
You
they were the
could,
plantation owning
you could,
party. They were
you
the
could.
party of the plantation owners.
They were,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things in politics. Whenever they name something, you usually think the opposite, and that's probably what you're looking at. And it's been kind of that way with the Democrats since forever in this country. They've always been, or largely became, the representatives of the wicked ruling class of the country. Because one of the great things about America is there isn't really a ruling class. They want there to be these people you're talking about. They want to
oh
be
yeah,
the only ones who have a voice.
that's right.
But it shifts every once in a while.
It does.
And I think we have one that's relatively decent, that wants what's best for the country. I think guys like Trump might even be a part of that. I would say yes. Elon is obviously, he clearly gives a shit. Uh, and then you
Sure.
have the ones who only want what's best for them, and they want to pretend like they're trying to do what's best for everybody else. But it's clearly
Yeah.
to no benefit. And we not only do we know it's to no benefit, because of the way they behave, but the results speak for themselves. Everywhere these people have power for longer than a decade is destroyed. It's utterly devastated. It looks like
Yeah.
it went through a war. Most of these places.
It does. It does. And we've been seeing this for over a decade. And
Hmm.
of course, we go back to the 60s and we saw similar things. But,
Yep.
I can't think that in my lifetime of a president that wasn't thinking solely about his legacy. And everyone, proclaims that that's all Trump cares about, and all he wants is his image and his legacy. But the fact that he is constantly proving that to be wrong by his
Mm.
actions and his words, it's I kind of wish people would just take a second, kind of do an overview of everything and digest it a bit, because no one's doing this. Because one thing that is very clear, Trump loves America. That's
Yep.
obvious. You can't argue it. I don't care if you like his policies. I don't care if you like him. I don't care about any of that. That dude loves America, and he's not happy with what he sees, and he wants to
Correct.
make it better. This is the baseline of the Trump presidency.
Yep.
Not what will the world say about me in the future, because we know what he wants his legacy to be. He says it all the time. He wants to be remembered as a builder, and a really good one.
Hmm.
That's what his legacy is. That's what he wants it to be. Politics has nothing to do with it. Matter of fact, I think we all kind of agree that Obama pissed him off and he ran for president as a lark,
Yeah,
and
despite.
he out of spite, and he won and didn't really know what to do with it.
Right.
But once he got in there, he was like, "Oh wow, this is really, really fucked up."
Yeah, it's real bad. Super
And
bad.
and he started focusing on that. COVID hit, of course, but now he's back with a vengeance, because he's like, "All right, this is my country. This is our country. We need to do something about this." I mean, that's what Trump
Mhm.
is. And I think they're really misreading not only the Democrats, but Republicans as well. I think they're
Yep.
misreading Trump really, really badly because the guy loves the country and he wants what's best for it. And you can see this through his actions. Who cares what
Yep.
he says?
I
Um,
still say his analog in because we do the Roman thing a lot is the Gracchus. He's the modern Gracchus.
y-
Genuinely wants to help the people, but has a corrupt system that's just so out of control. I mean, they tried to kill him. They did everything that happened to the Gracchi brothers
Multiple
has
times.
happened to Trump, except he hasn't been killed yet. That's
Well,
the only missing piece.
they've tried to kill him 5 times. They only count the
Yep.
2 where their gunmen were actually either killed or arrested, but there were 3
Right.
other times that were just thwarted. So there's been 5 actual legitimate threats on his life
That we know of.
that
There
we
may
know
even be
of.
more.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. But what we saw over the weekend, and of course this is just going to heat up. These people are really out of control. And I asked the question again to the universe, obviously.
Mm,
Um, you know, Unlike idiots like Cuomo, the CNN guy,
mhm, mhm.
who says where does it say that protests have to be peaceful? The Constitution says that directly, peaceful protest. But here's the thing. Let's take a second, shall we, and define what a protest is.
Mm,
Okay. Can you hold up a sign and speak at a protest? Yes or no?
yes.
Okay.
Well, depending on what's on the sign, but yes.
Right. So if you have a sign and that sign says "We the people," is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. If it says "Kill them and burn them with fire," is that okay?
No.
No, it's not. So it's not a universal stamp to
Right.
say or
Correct.
have whatever you want on your sign. Agreed?
Correct.
Okay.
Accurate.
Um, are you allowed to stand on a sidewalk and protest against what you don't like?
As long as you're not impeding traffic of any kind, even foot
Right.
traffic. Yes.
Or anybody, people,
Yes.
doorways,
Right.
roadways. That would be non-peaceful
Correct.
protest. That would be obstruction, would it not?
That's right.
Okay.
Unlawful detainment, in fact, if the person
I-
can't get
I-
around you.
that's right. Okay, so we agree. All right.
Mhm.
Um, are you allowed in a peaceful protest to pick up objects that are randomly about you and throw them at random
No.
vehicles and or people?
You are, in fact, not.
No, that would not be a protest.
No.
Are you allowed to threaten the lives of federal employees or just people on the street? Is that peaceful protest?
No.
No, it would not be. It would not be. So if you look at, and we could, of course, continue that line, but you get the point.
Mhm.
What we're seeing is not protest at all. They're in the
Correct.
streets, they're obstructing everything possible, and not just federal employees, but people constantly. They're creating disturbances, which some would argue would fall under protest,
Mhm.
legal protest. And my question to the universe, once again, seeing as no one listens to me at all, why aren't you just arresting all of them?
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think most people in this country would agree that these people just need to be carte blanche detained in a federal facility because they're violating and impeding federal agents,
you know,
uh, and then let come what may from there. There's really no argument against it other than Trump's too nice.
yeah,
I mean,
I
that's at the end of the day, he could be like, no, arrest them all, and they would have to do it. He
well,
is their commander.
he should put Rubio in charge of it because things would get done.
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, no, they should all be arrested, every damn one of
yes.
them, because they're breaking all the rules of peaceful protest. And of course, we all know it's night and day. If you see a bunch of conservatives marching down the streets during a parade, well, you can be guaranteed they got a license, didn't they? right?
Permit. Yep.
A permit. They go to parks, they go to areas that are established and well set up ahead of time, which is a problem for them because these Antifa types will lay an ambush of them, right?
Hmm.
Because they do all the little things you're supposed to do. And of course, it's incredibly peaceful and welcoming. And if you have an outside opinion and come in and start questioning and berating them, they will happily smile and say, welcome. We've seen it. It's very clear. This has been going on a long time. The conservatives do their protests. It's quiet, peaceful, and friendly. It just plain and simple. The other side is not that. And they just need to arrest them because they are not protesting, they are rioting. Rioting is illegal. Last I checked, did I miss something?
No,
Okay,
you are correct,
good.
sir.
Good.
You are correct,
So
sir.
I just don't understand why they're not arresting in Portland. They're concentrating on that ICE facility every day. There's only what 50 to 100 of maximum, right? Just arrest
Hmm.
all of them, every single one of them,
Ship them
right?
off. Get them
And
out of there.
what we saw in Chicago, them trying to, turn that lady into a martyr, and of course, they shot her. They were trying to run them over. It's like, let's see. She had a gun in her hand, or somebody
Hmm.
did, and she was screaming. Let me make sure I get the quote. Kill them motherfuckers, every one of them motherfuckers. Kill them dead. Get your gang. Kill them motherfuckers. Now, that's not
Excellent.
peaceful protest, I'm pretty sure, you know. So she's lucky she walked away from getting shot, in my opinion.
Hmm.
But we've got to the point that I think things are really going to heat up, particularly in Chicago, because they have an attitude. They think they're actually badass. They do. If you look at their Instagrams and TikToks, they think they can take on full military geared individuals that have training. They think they can. They're morons. But then again, have you listened to hip hop recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, I just don't understand why we just don't go in and force and arrest every single one of them because they're rioting. And we have the manpower to do it. We do. We have the mandate to do it. We have the funding to do it. They just got a whole shitload of money to do this kind of stuff. A lot of money, right?
Right.
Get it done, man. Because if you went in and quashed Portland and what's going on in certain areas of Chicago, if you went and you quashed that like they did in Washington, and you throw a bunch of people in jail, and then all these Antifa say, "Oh my goodness, they got 2 to 5 years or whatever it is," right?
Hmm.
Because it's about what it's worth, I think, because they're not killing anyone.
Yet.
You would see a lot of these assholes back up. You would only see the diehards, and then that just makes it easier just to arrest them, doesn't it?
That's
I
right.
just don't get the premise. I don't understand what the Trump administration is doing. Arrest them all, every
Well,
single one of them.
I'll say it this way. He has too much. What's the word I'm looking for? Cuck in him. Trump does. He's a very brave guy. I mean, I don't know how anybody could even argue that after he got shot in the head and stood right up
Obviously,
like a champion.
yeah,
He's got a lot of noble traits, but one thing he has always been and always will have, obviously since he's 80, a weakness for the opinions of women, especially the women he loves. And this is
yeah.
not a time, unless they're a woman like my beautiful wife here who would agree with us completely and probably be even more hardcore. It's not a time to be listening to the opinions of these women that are around him. And I
Yeah.
don't just mean females. He's surrounded by male women too, who are just they're just effeminate and they got these bleeding hearts on them and they don't want to look bad. And it doesn't Trump. You're not going. You're done, bro. This is it. This is your last hurrah. Go out swinging. There's
Yeah.
no reason not to take these people down, take them out, eliminate them, and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, and let's say this is continued and allowed to metastasize and
I'll be back
fester,
in a second.
it's only going to get worse from here. There's going to be more violence, more shootings, more innocent people like Charlie Kirk get killed right in front of their family. Just more, 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 more. And I've been saying this for a long time on this channel that I really do believe that if something doesn't change quick, fast, and in a hurry with what is permitted from the left specifically, but in general, the temperature, if you will, of the discourse and everything else when it comes to politics in this country, you're going to see American guerrillas in this country, in the United States of America, very soon. Within, I would say, even before the end of the decade, unless something changes very quickly, because the American people could not be more clear in the last election. That was a landslide victory for a Republican. That simply doesn't happen. It
Right.
hasn't happened since the 80s.
Reagan.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and that just doesn't happen in this mixed multicultural country that we have now, largely because of Reagan. Thanks, Reagan, the prick. Uh, a lot of that is the people couldn't be any louder, right? They
Right.
couldn't have been any louder at the ballot box than they were. So if it doesn't get sorted, it's not going away. I'm telling you, Chester, you're talking to older guys usually here. You get some of these younger ones who are actually able to articulate what they believe, what they feel,
Yep.
and you can find them out there. They're not happy. And that anger, especially considering they can't get women because the women are all a mess, or they're a mess, or they're just the whole thing's a mess. So they have no real future when it comes to what most men want. By the way, I know society likes to tell everybody men are just want to sleep around and bang every woman they can.
That's not
That's
true at
just
all.
not true.
Yeah.
They want families. They want wives. They want the whole deal. The American dream is a masculine dream. It's not a feminine dream. And that's why it worked. That's why it was able to bring people here that could build and make things and turn this wilderness into the greatest country that ever existed.
Well,
Uh,
because men have to make and earn, women receive.
yes,
That's why.
yes, correct. So if we don't do something to address the growing discontentment of the young men in this country, we're heading to something real, real dark. And the young men came out for Trump and said, and they've been doing so. They're coming out farther and farther right wing, harder and harder core. They do not want to lose their birthright. Most of them. They do not want to lose what is, the shining beacon on the hilltop that has been the American nation for over 200 or 250 years coming up here. Uh, they don't want to lose that. And
Right.
if we don't deliver very soon, Trump, Mr. Donald, the old Donald, I'm telling you, Chester, we're looking at an age of great violence from both sides
Yeah.
because they're tired of it. They're
Well,
just tired of it. No one
you
will,
know,
nothing they do works. We send Trump, he still can't get it done. So, I
right.
mean, what are you
And
supposed to do?
it would be an easy thing if they just absolutely lock down on that, because
Yeah,
the left is going to whinge and whine no matter what you do anyway. They're going to lie. That's what
right.
they do. But they really need just to arrest these people, because if people are protesting properly, let them do so, right?
Yeah,
But these are rioters, and they need to just go in mass, quit pussyfooting around with it, and said, "Oh, I'm going to send 200 National Guard." No, send 10,000.
yeah, why not?
Why not? Go in, lock these areas that are rioting down, arrest everybody that dares to show their face in it,
Yep.
right? Plain and simple. Now you said that's authoritarian. Damn right it is.
Sometimes you got to be.
Yeah.
It's just reality.
Now that being said, because I've been bitching about, and I'm not a young guy, I'm an old guy. And I'm
Yep.
like, what the hell are you doing? This is, why are you letting them get away with this? I'll see
Hmm.
several times where they'll push people away or try to grab them and they get away, and these cops don't follow it up. What are you doing? Follow it up.
Yep.
You're all in riot gear. Sure, there's only 20 or 30 of you, but they're a bunch of damn, pansies, dude. Deal
Right.
with them, right? But that aside, the other issue you brought up is, of course, connected, but it's really not, because we got an entire lost generation with millennials anyway.
Yep.
So I don't really know how you fix the problem that you have put forward, because you're not wrong, but how do you fix that? Because
Well,
women,
war.
well, even with that, how do you fix it? Because you have huge numbers of women, and it's way beyond the pale, dude. We're not talking, because normally, if you want to quickly psychoanalyze anything, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
You can use some basic numbers, right? One of those numbers is 20% of any population, no matter what the conversation is, 20% of that population is going to be where all the trouble's at,
Mhm.
right? And the deeper in that 20% you go, the more dangerous and violent and ugly that danger is, and that
Right.
trouble is, right? That's a general rule across any organization, country, culture, whatever. It's right about there, 20%. And I'm not saying what we have in America is too disparate beyond that. I don't know that it's all the way to 30%. However, that loud minority has caused damage way beyond 20%,
Yes.
because the women in the country are really bad busted up.
Yep.
And in Europe too, the men are less busted up, as far as their character, but still busted up,
Mhm.
right? The one thing I was very happy about was, if you remember, we were probably talking about it around that time when we first started. When the whole men's rights thing started, they were getting
Mhm.
laughed at because they were
Mhm.
talking about they don't get fair treatment. They weren't wrong. They weren't wrong. But they're whinging and whining, and men don't do that. That women don't like it. Women will judge
Mhm.
you on it, and men don't like it either. But what happened very quickly, and with some pretty toxic characters like Andrew Tate and
Yep.
other people like that, because he's a pretty toxic human. Let's be fair.
Yes.
Um, Abba and Preach, who I think are way better humans. But there's a whole bunch of them, right?
Mhm.
What they did was they transitioned that very quickly into, hey guys, if you want to be worthy of a woman, make yourself worthy. Get out there, get in shape, get your finances together, work. Here's the reality: men have to earn value, women are born with it. By the time
Mhm.
you're late 20s, early 30s, you should be more than enough set to make a family. And you need to go out there and get that done. All right. I love that transition that took place. It was a
Yes.
beautiful thing to see. Beautiful. So the men are not in as bad a situation, simply based upon a lot of them are getting in shape, are trying to side hustles. They're
Yep.
trying to be American, right?
Right.
And good on them, because we got a little lost in the weeds there about what it was
Yes.
to mean to be an American. So I'm really happy
Well,
about that.
a lot of
Well, we
that wasn't
did,
my
dude.
generation's fault, though. And the
Well,
reason
no,
it
you can
wasn't
blame anybody
is
you want.
because I'm not blaming a specific, well, like you could, I guess. I'm blaming the world that I was raised in simply doesn't exist anymore, and it stopped existing on September 11th, 2001. We watched America go from a country that at least pretended to be about freedom to straight up digital surveillance
Oh
and this
yeah.
war rally stuff and
Well, Bill
just
Clinton
the
did that,
madness.
buddy.
The madness that happened very, very quickly after 9/11. Um, and then obviously we were a war generation. I have my entire adult life up until very recently, this country was at war, was an
Okay.
open war somewhere else.
Right.
So it's kind of like what happened with the same thing happened with Vietnam. The Vietnam generation was largely a lost generation because of the war. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Uh, the only reason you didn't really have that after World War II, even though you kind of did, was because it was so there was such a euphoric upswing because well we
Victory.
won for one, yeah,
Victory.
victory, and the other thing is everywhere else was decimated,
Yeah.
so you had
Well,
this great opportunity in that victory to build, and the American dream became a very quick reality because everything was just so cheap comparatively here. It
true.
was there was a value.
It's true. But and also after World War II, I'll offer a very odd observation, right?
Hmm.
Because military guys coming home after a war, we don't know about it because I've never been in war. You ever been in war?
No.
Okay. I mean, I've been in
Almost.
fights, I've been in scraps, I've been shot at,
Yep.
right? But I ain't been to war, right? And they're
Yep.
not comparable.
No.
And these guys came back with, they knew some shit. They'd seen some shit,
Broken.
right? It is what it is, right?
Hmm.
They came back, and what they were able to do in America, particularly, um, And the observation I'm going to make is with cars.
Mm,
A lot of those guys came back, and one of the reason why we were able to be so useful in Europe, the Pacific was a different story, but the reason America was so useful in that war was because we had things like the Sherman tank, the
that's right.
Willys Jeep, these kind of things. And if you take a Panzer tank and you stand it next to a Sherman tank, it's like a joke.
Yep,
The Panzer is this masterpiece of human engineering. It's
that's right.
gorgeous, beautiful machine,
Very
badass.
German.
Oh yeah, it took 4 or 5 Shermans to even hope to get one of those suckers, right?
Yep,
But the problem was, as is everything with the Germans, they over engineer everything, and you can't repair shit in the field because it's too heavily engineered. The Sherman
that's right.
tank was literally a box of steel that the guy, some farm boy, could repair and get running.
That's right.
And they
Threw an
all
engine
had
in there and pew
mm-hmm,
pewed. That's all it
pew
did.
pew. But that commonness that the whole world looks
Yeah,
down upon America and mocks us is why we were so useful in that war, right?
that's right.
And when those guys came back, they all had picked up those skills. I don't care what your job was in the military, you were somehow associated or involved with the motor pool in that war.
Yes,
There's no way
yes,
around it, right? Um, and they had an itch, and also to kind of get it out of their head and live a normal life. Cars. You had frickin' Ford produce well over 1 million of those Model A's,
yep,
right? People don't realize how many damn cars they made back in the 20s and 30s, dude. An insane number, right? And they took those old cars and they hot rodded them up. And they started saying, hey, well, let's go out and have some fun with them. Of course, you can't run around the road like that because you could cause accidents and kill people. And these are military men. They're actually responsible. So what did they do? You saw this incredible wave across the country of speedways being
that's
built
right. Hmm.
everywhere. Can you do me a quick a favor? Can you go and check how many speedways there are in America, please?
Let's check it out
I'm
right
I'm
meow.
going to guess I'm going to guess around 400. But as they did
Yes.
this, they were tuning or wrenching.
Oh,
Is
wait,
it
wait, wait,
way
hang on, I
more?
gotta make sure
Is
I
it
gotta make
way
sure I don't
more?
use the gas I gotta make sure I don't not the gas stations, because there's a gas station chain called Speedway.
Oh, right. But and this hobby, this culture grew, and it grew across the whole country, and it was all guys coming back from World War II that were in it.
Yep,
And then by the time the mid 50s, and you get all American Graffiti and you get all that stuff, you in the early 60s, all those kids had grown up and were just kind of taking on their papa's culture, and you
yep,
get this kind of a shine on that original mechanic and wrenching philosophy. And I'd say that I know it sounds weird, but I think that played a big part in the stability of America after that war.
right. Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Give him an outlet, give him therapy, basically, a
yeah,
form of meditative practice.
yeah. I
That's
think
one of the reasons why I'm,
it's
like,
big.
big on meditation. It doesn't have to be you just sit still and do nothing, like, the Easterners do. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. How can you shut your mind off and just do something? Just focus on one task and just shut everything off. It's so good for you because your
Mhm.
brain is just retarded. It's just going to keep flooding you with nonsense until you address something that you might not
Right.
even understand what it wants you to address. But if you can shut that off, it'll just stay off for a while, and it might not even
Yeah.
come back
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
To answer your question, they don't know. They
Yeah.
don't have a running list. However,
Yeah.
dirt
Yeah.
oval speedways alone,
Yeah.
over 700.
Yeah. It
Yep,
was insane what they went out and did, and I think that played a big part in that. And of course, being the victors was also a thing because since
yep,
World War II, America has not been allowed to be a victor. We won in Korea, but we let it go
right.
politically. We won in
Hmm.
Vietnam, but we let it go politically. We won in Afghanistan and we won in Iraq, but we let it go politically. And of course, we've had many other ventures as well. Now, as
Right.
far as war goes and the comments you made in your lifetime, do keep in mind that there has been a war going on this planet uh,
Of course.
forever.
But this one was different. Well,
Well,
one,
no,
there was
that's not what I
multiple.
mean. There is no human alive today, or I'd say that's ever been alive, that there wasn't a war happening somewhere.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the difference was the effect that it had on the
Oh,
young
sure,
Americans. My
sure, sure,
generations
sure, sure.
is the one who had to go fight it, and it was celebrated for the most part. It was something to, there was a lot of celebration about it. Then, of course, there was the pushback against it and da da da. It was a big cultural thing more than it was, because the reality of it was, I mean, it wasn't that bloody for us. We as America typically did, we did pretty damn well compared to our enemy. But
We
the
always do.
we always do. But the cultural impact of it, plus the 20 trillion or so dollars that was wasted in those deserts, allegedly, um, is a huge impact as well. So not only was the financial uncertainty of that, you had the cultural uncertainty, then you had the trauma for a lot of the people of the actual war
Of
itself.
course,
Uh,
of course.
but there was also the 2008 recession. That was right around, the time you were talking about you should be in your late 20s, early 30s. That's where you start to really get it locked in.
Right.
Well, my generation got that stolen from us because it was 2008, would have been at the time roughly when I would have been that, when I was that, and everything went to shit in a handbasket basically for about 4 years there, and it was really really hard to get. I mean, there was people who had been established that got wiped out, so it was hard to get that leg up. Then we went through the Obama economy, which was not an economy; it was bullshit. You had to, if you wanted to make comparable wages to just 4 years before, you had to work two jobs, two, three jobs. Uh, and they
Sure.
weren't good jobs; they were bullshit service jobs that nobody wants to do.
Well, because
Um,
America shipped all their labor overseas, dude.
Yes. So my point is, my generation is the NAFTA generation more than anything. We were betrayed.
Oh
The
yeah.
world we grew up in was literally stolen from us, and they were the millennials were betrayed. So when I will defend them a little bit, yes, I won't defend them overall because there was ways out of that quagmire that we didn't take as a generation, but the situation was terrible. It was a mass betrayal from on all fronts for a whole generation of Americans. And what happened coming up after us, Generation Z, they saw that. They they
Sure.
they saw it on an instinctual level. So that's one of the reasons why
Yep.
they shifted hard to the right. The young men,
Sure.
they're like, no, 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 no. What?
Well,
No, no, no. This ain't working. This
but the
style ain't working.
the problem we're talking about is disparate from the problem you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
Because sure, that's all true. But what happened to the women has nothing to do with that.
I don't. I think it does.
I don't.
The
I
reason
think
why I think it does is because in order to fill the vacuums that we were given, basically, that the men unfortunately did with video games and pornography, the women did it with social media, and that social media influence has largely destroyed an entire generation of young women.
you don't have to encourage women to social media.
Correct,
So it
correct.
doesn't
But you
matter
do
what's
have to
happening
encourage them to be whores,
economically. Yes, you do, and that's why I'm saying they are disparate.
and
Um,
that's what social media has done, because
yes.
social media was corrupted by the people who shall not be named
Okay.
to
All
turn
right.
an entire
Fine.
generation into
Fine.
whores.
Guilt by association. All right. But back to the point of it, because it is a serious issue. You and I are beyond it, right?
Yes,
But I mean, these young men. I love the movement, and the movement seems to be getting stronger, not weaker. For men
correct.
to go out there, get in
It ain't
shape,
gonna
make
ain't gonna
something of
stop.
yourself, and that's wonderful. Because women
Yep.
don't have such a movement. They don't.
No,
The only
it'll
movement
come
they
though.
have, yeah, I hope so.
It will.
So I'm happy for the men, young men, and a huge chunk of them have found this. And of course, you're seeing a lot of people going out and try to do little homesteading, and I will
Yep.
quantify that. I probably mentioned before, is not related to Abraham Lincoln's 1862 Homestead Act. That
Yep.
doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. We have a lot of national federal property that I wish Trump would let loose, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And let it get back into the people's hands. Of course, the corporates would try to just suck it up anyway. But
That's what
nevertheless,
happened. Yeah.
that's what would happen. But nevertheless, what homesteading is, I will quantify it, is the idea of going out, getting yourself a piece of land. Doesn't even have to be much. I mean, an acre will
Hmm.
do. And you do realize there are a lot of acreage in America you can buy for $300 or less per acre.
Yes.
Understand this. Understand this. And what they go out, they get some little parcel of land, they build a house in one way or another, either by themselves or through the bank or what have you. And they try subsistence farming. Now, there in this day and age, if you find someone who's truly 100% subsistent, oh wow, wow, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Impressive, but it's you don't have to be 100% subsistent. The idea is to get back to the land, to kind of grow some of your own food, get back in contact with nature, back in contact with some animals. You don't need a lot of them. Chill out, right?
Right.
But a few chickens. Chickens are easy. Anybody do chickens, right?
Yes.
Get back to it, do some building, get outside, move around a little bit, get the family outside, away from these damn video games and all this stuff. And I love video games, but you got to put it down, that controller down sometimes, buddy.
Yep.
And getting and doing it like this is what homesteading is today, and I think it's wonderful. And a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are doing it, right? And it's mainly men, and they are dragging some women along with them. Yeah.
Yep.
I do chickens, says Alan. Yeah, I mean, chickens are easy.
Well,
Anybody can do chickens. Pigs pretty easy too.
here's what I think will be the tipping point for when the young women will, because I think we've lost basically a whole generation,
I
maybe a
think so too.
generation and a half
Yeah.
of young women. But here's what's going to happen. Two things are going to happen. One, we know it's coming. The sex bot revolution is coming. It's inevitable. It's coming. That's going to put a ton of pressure on women that actually do want to be wives, which is most of them, even if they don't, even if they say they don't. They do want that life. That's going to put a ton of pressure on them to get in line.
Yeah, but that's a
Competition is the best medicine for all ills.
yeah, but that is a situation that we can't quantify, right? Because we have no examples. Throughout history, everything that's happening now has happened 1,000 times minimum, right? This nothing new under the sun is a very truthful statement most of the
Hmm.
time. What we're seeing right now with political strife, warfare, the separation of the sexes. I mean, there's freaking how many books written on that? This has been happening for thousands of years, so nothing is new there, right? There's nothing new there. What is new is this looming threat of
Yep,
companion bots,
that's right.
right? Robots.
Automation, automated love.
Automation. We have never had anything like that. The closest thing would
Well,
be prostitution, maybe
slavery.
in mass. Not even though. Not
When
even.
you
It's
go
different.
out and bring back women, and now you have a
Yeah,
bunch of
but
spare women.
and women have the ability to adapt and survive quite easily in that situation. A lot of
Yes.
men will become more melancholy in that situation than a woman would. I
Yep.
know that may be a disillusion to a lot of you about your women, but women are. We always make this mistake. We say women are overly emotional. No, women are allowed to have more emotion, and they therefore
That's right.
freely show more emotion, and they tend to lean on different emotions than men do. But women are nowhere near as emotional as men are. Let's get that clear, right?
No, it's
And
absolutely men are the passionate gender. It's not even
yes, they
close.
are.
We
And of
write all the
course,
love songs. We write all the love plays.
we
It's men.
do.
It's always
We
been
do.
men.
And if a woman finds herself in a situation, like we were talking about with slavery and indentureship and all that kind of stuff, they will they will adapt very quickly and fall into that
Yep.
without my. I know it's you're like, no, my wife would never do that. Yes, you would.
Well, they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Like, the
but they
reality
also
of
have a
nature is women
mechanism to
are
deal with it.
inferior physically. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why they have that, because they're
that's probably
physically
why.
inferior.
That's probably why.
So it protects their lives and their offspring, which is
Yeah,
their,
yeah.
their
But
job.
no, that's true. But the point being that the companion bot, the sex bot, I don't think it'll be just a sex bot. It might be initially, but it'll become more, I think. Because
Absolutely.
a
100%. It'll be full wives.
companion, well,
Yeah.
because having a robot that actually gives advice and helps to
Go back.
improve you would be much more
Yep.
valuable than a sex bot.
Well, you already
Uh,
have that. AI is already out there doing that. The
true.
the the
That
number
is
one
true.
use for ChatGPT is therapy mode.
Yeah.
People use it as a therapy, and I'm gonna tell you, I've tested it out. It's pretty good. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like you would think, where it's just giving you weird platitudes or whatever. No, no, it actually listens, quote unquote, and does respond to what you're saying.
Right. I don't
So it's
need
pretty good.
I don't need no damn
I don't
therapy.
need it either. I was just curious about it. I was like, let's see, because there's
But
apparently something like 40% of the usage for ChatGPT is that
oh,
just
cool,
alone.
cool, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But my
Yeah,
point being is, this is a new thing that we've never seen, as far as we know, right?
yeah, yeah.
At least in the past 6,000 years of recorded history, right?
Well,
So
I genuinely believe it's going to be one of the. I've said this before. We're looking at a return to a truly stratified society. We already kind of have one, right, with the rich and the levels of wealth.
sure,
But this is going to be something else. And the women who are capable of regulating their emotion, or I shouldn't say their emotion, their behavior, and becoming what men want in wives, will. They will do so, and the ones, especially the ones who are attractive, will have no problem finding a normal situation with a man.
yeah, but it's going
Uh,
to be a while.
it's
It's going to be a
It's
while.
going to take probably a decade or two for the correction to fully set in, even with the sex bots out there. Now, the other thing that might snap them back to reality, as it has done after World War II, would be a great victory in a great war. The problem is nobody
Maybe
wants a great war.
no,
Um,
but
so
you know,
because after World War II, a lot of women went to work, and they were doing their jobs and blah 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 blah. And the men came back, and many of them did go exactly right back to the kitchen. I know the feminists like to pretend that didn't happen, but that's just untrue. They absolutely fell right into being wives and mothers again,
they were
and
ecstatic
everybody was
about
okay.
it. Might I
They would
add?
love it. Yeah, they were extremely happy.
They were happy to
So
get
if
out of
you
those
have
damn greasy, smelly factories.
a truly great struggle will put women back into their feminine very quickly as soon as the men show back up and handle that business,
Sure,
because
but
they
my
want men to handle that business. That's the problem. My generation went so insular, and one of the things that he had was the MGTOW movement and the men's rights
right,
movement and
right,
all
right,
that.
right. Yeah,
And all that was men walking away, which I encourage you. If you don't think you can solve it, walk the hell away. You don't have to suffer for this world. You
that's
don't owe it
true.
anything.
That's true.
But
But
if you do think you can solve it, then go fight for it.
yeah, but
Go solve it.
what I'm trying to say is, I think we're in an odd pocket, is what I'm
We are.
saying. Because those companion bots will not be here soon enough, right? They won't be. I mean, you're
You don't think
looking a
so?
decade, maybe 20 years, I think,
I think it
right?
might be in the next. I think you're going to see rudimentary ones in the next 5 years.
Yeah, but
There's
they
already
won't
AI ones that
be
you can talk to that people have full relationships with.
but they won't be functional enough. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on it, really. But it still doesn't solve the problem that you have literally millions of women in the country who are just used up,
Done. Is Stina here?
used up.
Yes,
And
they're done.
no man wants to marry that.
Well, you say no, man, but I would say most men don't want to
Well,
marry that.
no,
There are men out
no,
there who will marry anything.
that
Porn
yeah,
stars get married, Chester.
but they do they last though?
Yes.
And this is the problem, because men have been made acutely aware, they've been educated,
Mm-hmm.
they've been made acutely aware that women have the totality of control in marriage. Totality.
That's right.
And you have nothing. If she decides to leave you for whatever reason, she's gone and she'll take whatever the hell she wants, and you ain't
Mm-hmm.
stopping it. That's the reality. Men have woken up
Well,
and realized
there
this
is
is the
one way to
truth.
stop it, but
Well, I'm
men
just
are too much
saying,
cowards nowadays to handle business like they used to when there
I'm
was a problem like that.
Well, I'm just saying it is what it is.
Yeah.
and therefore these men are extremely gun shy. And then if you're going to sit and say, well, okay, well that's a major threat, and now you want me to marry a woman that slept with 100, 200 dudes and has
Yeah.
no ability to pair bond? I mean, come on,
None.
dude. It's a
Not even
problem.
with their own children. That's
No,
how
it's
messed up
bad.
their
It
brain is.
messes up their head because they don't understand a simple thing women don't seem to get. Um,
Hmm.
every time a woman has sex with a guy, his DNA is imprinted on her genetically.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. That
Well,
is
here's the thing.
real. That's
Everybody
not
does,
science
though.
fiction.
Hang on, though. Everybody does, though. Because every single person, at least that I've ever had sex with, has said something to the effect of, make me yours. They know it in their brain. They just don't want to admit it. This idea that when you're with somebody, you're claiming them. You're taking ownership of their body as a man and
Yeah,
as a
but
woman. They know it. They know it subconsciously. Their lizard brain understands what's happening, but
sure.
they get so messed up here and up in that frontal cortex, and it becomes it's a whole wreck.
Well,
And
yeah, and
it's because
that's the
that's where the
problem.
propaganda is.
It
That's where the
become
propaganda
you get
is.
to a point of negative returns
Yes.
depend with these women, and there's nothing to be done about it. There's nothing to be done about it. It isn't about,
No,
well, she can push through or persevere. No, that's not
no,
the reality. So we have, and that's what I was talking about, that demographic of the 20%, right, that
no.
always make all the trouble. The amount of whorish women in America is out of control. I've seen
It is.
statistics that puts it up to 60%.
I would have. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
That
And
is an
here's the thing.
insane number, dude. That is an
Here's the thing.
insane number.
There is a way. I'll say it. You'll probably disagree. That's all right. But I actually do believe in Christian repentance. If a woman is that, and then she actually realizes how messed up that was, it's wrong, and she goes about and either gives herself to faith or through science and therapy or whatever, and fixes herself, tries to, she can still be a decent enough. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to marry her, but someone else,
No,
maybe a
neither would
decent
I,
enough
and
wife or
neither would
partner.
pretty much any other dude. It doesn't
The
matter.
problem is the
Good for you,
problem
dear,
is
realizing your problem, but no,
the
thank you.
problem is none of these women show any
No,
repentance
no, there
of this
aren't, and
behavior.
they're not going to, because that's the hardest thing
If
for a woman to do, to say she's wrong. It's the
Yes,
hardest thing.
contrition is more important in a woman. If you can find a woman who's contrite, who's capable, which is very rare, capable of actually admitting when she screwed up. My wife can. It takes her a minute, but she'll get there. She can. I'd imagine yours can. She seems like the type of woman.
Oh no,
It
absolutely,
just
yeah.
doesn't happen very often. I'd imagine. Uh,
No, she's
and
usually
if
accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can find a woman who's capable of humbling themselves, that's the problem. It's not women. Women's problem isn't lust. They're not out here banging all these dudes out of lust. It's pride. It's all pride, all the way down. And if you can find one that isn't so proud, you might be able to. Hang on, I'm getting stared at by my woman currently. I think she wants to ask me a question. Hang on a second.
Uh, yeah, no, I understand what he's saying with it, and there's definitely, I guess, some truth to it, as far as the pride aspect, I guess. But the problem you have with it is that young men find themselves in a very, very difficult box, because, and even not even young men, like 30 something men, and it's, yeah, it's not an easy situation, and these women, whether they want to be contrite or not, it doesn't change the fact that some things cannot be fixed, dude.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm not saying it can be. I'm saying the only method that could potentially start righting the ship is something similar to that. So what's
Yeah,
this
well,
about?
religion is very useful in that regard. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get to the point where we shame whores again. At the end of the day, being a whore has to be shameful. It shouldn't be something that's celebrated at the very least,
Okay,
and it
Alan.
definitely shouldn't be something that is overlooked or made excuses for. It's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. Stop it. That's it. I don't need to explain further. We don't need to get into the psychology of it. We don't need to get it. All that information exists. There's absolutely no data that suggests being a whore is a good thing for a woman or a man. By the way, men can do it better, but it's still bad for
Yeah.
them in the end.
Well, and
There's a
I'm not.
reason why every civilization that's ever mattered has valued chastity. There's a reason
Oh
for
yeah,
that
there's a
because it
reason
matters.
that we should look to the past and understand that the wisdom that they earned the hard way, and
The
we're
very
earning
hard
it the
way.
hard way. But this contrition thing you're talking about, it's actually, it's very hard for humans to be contrite, to
Yes.
say I'm wrong.
Humble. Humble yourself.
Humility, which is another thing religion helps with. Whether you believe in a
Hmm.
God or not doesn't matter. But
Correct.
for men, it's a lot easier
Yes.
because male culture demands it.
Well, otherwise you'll get your ass kicked.
I'm just saying. But I'm just saying.
Which, I'm not advocating for anybody beating women, but there was a time when it was more acceptable to lay hands on a woman if she was out of
Well,
control.
time being now, if you're a Muslim. Um,
Yes.
but um, but no, I'm just this is an advantage that men have in this situation. If we took that pressure away, I imagine men and women would be very similar in not wanting to admit guilt or
Mhm.
wrongdoing. But men have this built-in factor where male culture demands that you do it, and there's pride and honor in coming up. Yeah, I fucked it up.
Yep.
That's a thing with us. Women don't really
Yep.
have that.
Every
Um,
time I've ever made an ass of myself with another gentleman,
yeah.
that was of similar honor, and I apologized, it was always met with praise by
Yep.
not only him, but anybody else who saw it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the
And
right thing to do.
and that carries over into your interaction with women. It's just
Yes.
becomes a rote habit. I have never in my life shied away from admitting my mistakes, even though
Mhm.
sometimes they're painful,
Yep.
because I have this support of my maledom that helps me to do that. And of course, by doing that, it is better. You feel better, and
Yep.
therefore, once the error has been stated and it's out in the open, we can get to fixing it, right?
That's right.
Which is the
One
important
of the
point.
things I say a lot, and people think I'm being arrogant, and it sounds arrogant, so I get it, is I say I'm never wrong. But the reason I say that isn't because I never make an error. Of course I make errors, but it's because I correct them.
Oh yeah,
And if
man,
even
that's
if that
fair.
correction is simply as much as, you know what, I was wrong about that, my fault.
Yeah.
That's me correcting the error as much as I can.
One of the biggest mistakes I made, and it was painful, but I immediately owned up to it.
Yep.
I was working on a job site, and was taking down the scaffolding. Just the kind of, you're cleaning up the site, taking down the scaffolding, right? And
Hmm.
they had just built this absolutely gorgeous wooden building made out of cedar, beautiful stand. It was just stunningly simple, small house, but it was gorgeous, gorgeous, right?
Hmm.
And it was all beautiful. And of course, cedar wood is a soft wood. It's pretty soft. And
Right.
I'm taking down the scaffolding, and I was just getting too ahead of myself, and the pole leaned into a faceplate on the fascia, the roof,
Hmm.
and it put a dent in it.
Oof.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, fuck! This house was beautiful and perfect." But I immediately went over, talked to the foreman, brought him over, and showed him what I did. And of course, he looked at me sternly for a second, and they went about trying to fix it. And they found a halfway solution, as you would in that situation. But I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've owned up to them because you need to do that so you can get it fixed. Like I said, we have our male support around us. But that one
Right.
stung because I was trying to be careful,
Hmm.
and I just let
Yep.
my focus slip for a second.
Yep. And
And
that's all it takes.
that's all it takes. And the beautiful perfection of that house. The only good thing was it was on the back side of the fascia.
Nice.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. You now, if I told that story to a woman, they wouldn't get it.
No. Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
But you get what
mm.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh
was
yeah.
painful,
Especially
dude.
when you're trying your hardest
Yeah.
to not, and then you just whatever it is. Sometimes it's out of your control, but it's usually not. Uh, you just screw up. and you're
Yeah.
like, ah, son of a bit.
Mm,
Now I got to tell them. Now I got to deal with this. But you
yeah.
got to do it. It's
I
great for you.
Yeah, that was actually I had 2 incidences on that job. Not that site, but that, whilst I did that job. Another one was with a stone gate pillar.
Yep.
It was just a decorative thing between the driveway and the walkway into the house, but they had erected 2 concrete pillars with stone fascia, and I was same thing. I was carrying scaffolding, and the back end just dipped down and took a chip out of the top.
Right.
But that one didn't bother me as much because I just took that whole plate off, grabbed another one, and chiseled it down. And
Nice.
therefore, where it was an extra what hour, or maybe 45 minutes. No, not even 40 minutes of work. But that was very easily fixable because we had plenty of extra stuff lying around to fix that. But the one in the back, that would have required to truly fix that. That would be required pulling the entire fascia off.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fun
uh,
stuff.
fun stuff. But it's weird what bothers individuals, I guess. But I am pedantic. Yeah, and
No, you
yeah, a little bit.
couldn't
And
be.
I love the state of perfection. I love it. And we do achieve it temporarily on occasion. But that
Sometimes.
cedar house was so gorgeous, dude. I'm just telling you, man. They had, and the good thing about it is, well, I don't know how many of you have any kind of building experience. I would think most American men did some as a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt that that was true when I was a kid. Um, and of course, my experience is like that. Although I rebuilt this house, and I do have those kind of skills. But I've had them because my uncles and grandfather and stuff taught me. But nevertheless,
Right.
it's not like I'm a master carpenter. I'm certainly not. But anyway, the that house, I don't even want to know what they spent on it because when you're buying wood, when you're selecting wood, right? There are many grades of wood, right? Now, I mean,
Right.
whatever. Say, okay, I'm gonna build my house out of, structurally, I'm gonna build it out of Douglas fir, which is the most common one to do timber framing in, or that shit pine that you go to the store and buy at Home Depot, or, I'm gonna use mahogany trim, or whatever it is you decide you're going to use. Um, there's different grades. The grading has a little bit to do with the waviness of a piece of wood, meaning how it dried or didn't dry, how close it is to the heart or the pith of the thing. But also, another part of grading is how many knots are in it, right?
Hmm.
Because knots are a point of failure. They can look real pretty if you put it on a wall, right? But you don't want
Yeah.
to have that to be structural, right? So these people, because I was involved with the scaffolding aspect of the project, so I saw the entirety of the house, right? Dude, there
Hmm.
wasn't a knot in the frickin' exterior, dude. Not one.
Jeez.
You know how much money that
Jeez.
costs?
Hmm.
That's expensive, dude. Not a
That's
single
crazy.
knot, man. And it was beautiful. Oh, it was so gorgeous, and I dented it, bastard. Anyway, that's that. But yeah, no, it's there of course are a lot of problems going on in the world, but then again, I think you drop us in any year in history and there's going to be problems. It's just the
Yep.
nature of man, I guess. But the thing with the problems we have today, and maybe this is always true, they're kind of easy to fix, really. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, the situation with the men and women is the most difficult, I think. But
Mm.
as far as hey, everyone has a right to free speech. Yay! Everyone should enter the country legally, especially seeing as America's the easiest damn country to immigrate to. Because this has gotten out of hand with that. No one is saying anyone has any trouble with immigration at all. Have you heard anyone
Right.
saying we don't want these damn immigrants? Have you heard anyone say that?
Well, me, I say that. Get them out.
I'm not.
Get
No,
them
I'm
all
talking
out.
about actual immigrants, not illegal
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't want
fine.
them here. I'm a full nativist. I
All
don't
right, fine.
think we need any more. America's full. We're
Well,
good.
I married a foreigner, and I am an immigrant.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
stay over there. You traitor. You stay over there,
that's
traitor.
fine, I will. But I personally don't
Well,
have a
I
problem
just
with
don't
people
think
doing it
I don't think
legally.
we need it. I don't think we I mean, we could
Take a
dial it way back.
pause,
We've done it before.
take a
We need to take
pause.
it we need to do a moratorium on it for a little while.
Well,
Uh,
I
5,
think
10, maybe 15 years.
well,
Give just figure this out.
I think America needs to, because one thing, it's only been 9 months of Trump, and
Yep,
it feels like freaking 30 years. But the thing is, all the stuff he's been doing is not going to come to fruition until 2, 3, 5 years later,
right.
right? Because right now in America, you have factories being built, you have various trade and supply routes being set up and organized. You have international shifts in how things are traded, moved, and organized, particularly with Canada. This is something we haven't really been talking about because everyone just kind of laughs at Canada, and it's their own damn fault because they constantly mock us forever. It's like,
Right.
what do you expect? You think we're going to come to your run to your rescue? I mean, honestly, you look down on us, you mock us constantly. You think we're going to say, "Hey, now Trump, leave them Canadians alone"? No, fuck you, right? But what's happening? You're seeing industry pour out of Canada, just pour out of it, and drop into America, pour out.
Yep.
And they're like, "Well, we're not going to trade with you. We're going to lock this and we're going to lock that." Keep in mind, all the aggression with the situation between America and Canada is from Canada. All they had to do was two things: monitor your border and shut and lock that down and stop the fentanyl. Do something about it. That's all he wanted. That's it. And they refused. How dare you ask us anything? You in you you inferior piece of crap country. That's how they talk. Have you listened to them? They literally
Oh, I
think
have.
that they can dominate us economically.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me? Your whole existence has been
Um,
sucking at the teat of America. And because of that, you haven't bothered to even build proper infrastructure. It's
mhm.
insane, dude. You do realize Canada and America have been a thing since, the beginning, side by side,
Yep.
right? They've had the exact amount of time that we've had. And look what we did with it. You know? Now you say poor
Mhm.
little Native Americans got pushed out. Well, they should have done fucking something better with it then, right?
Yep.
But look at Canada. They don't even have roads going to all the places they need to have roads. You realize this?
He's off to the races, Canadians. He's on you now.
Well, dude, it's so bullshit. And it's because they've been
Mm.
sucking at our teat and have become lazy and didn't get their own shit done. Now they're in this desperate, oh, we're gonna trade with the world, we're gonna outperform America, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. It's like, well, you've had 200 years. I mean, what have you done with it? And half the shit that was built in your country, who built it? Who built it?
The
We
same
did.
people who build everything everywhere,
Yeah,
pretty much all the
us.
time.
Us. And well, you know who the one people go around the world and build everything? It's either the Americans, the Japanese, or the Germans.
Yeah.
Seriously. The Russians
Yep.
do a few things here and there too. Let's be fair. Let's give them a little bit of credit. And the
Mhm.
Chinese have done some things, although they tend to use or Japanese contractors or American contractors. But yeah, I
Yes.
mean, the main three builders on this planet are the Americans, the Germans, and the Japanese. And we go all over the world independently. They're not representing the country. They're just, they're part of some contracting thing. I had a friend of mine, Ricky. He's passed away now. Of course, I told you every freaking childhood friend I had is all dead now.
Yep.
So there's that. But Ricky, you know what his job was? It was pretty interesting.
Mm.
He was a contractor, a builder with the American government, and they sent him
Okay.
all over the planet to build all kind of things. Usually, what he did was build military bases. They want to have a military base, so he would go over there and he would build the base. and then they come in happily and land and get to business. This was his job, and he did it for decades. And the most interesting spot he built, because I've talked to him from time to time, and he'd tell me about where he'd been and what he built and stuff like that. And he's all over the world, dude, all over,
Mm.
you know. And but the most interesting one is he went down to Antarctica about, I'd say, 12 years ago or 15 years ago, and built a really big base that he couldn't tell me much about other than the fact that he built a base in Antarctica. And it was interesting because it was the same time that you had all those world leaders just magically showing up down in Antarctica for some random meeting. You remember that?
Curious. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
curious.
it was curious. But he built that base that they went to
Mhm.
and did whatever it is they did. But this is
Child
it,
sacrifice, probably.
who knows what it was. Some people say they were meeting the aliens in the Hollow Earth.
It
Whatever.
might hey, you know
Uh,
what? At this point, I'll believe anything.
Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Which is the most amazing segue. But yeah, no, American contractors are built everywhere on the planet, right?
USA number
Everywhere.
1, baby.
Yeah.
Number 1.
It's shocking. But a nice segue. Three Eye Atlas.
3 Eye
Holy
Atlas? What's this?
shit. Now, we've talked about here a few times how over the past 4 years, there's been a lot of disclosure from NASA and the government, the federal government, in regards to
Yep,
aliens, and that no one seems to give a shit, right?
yep.
They have come out, and this is what they have stated. This is the American government of all people who are very tight-lipped about such things. They have admitted the following: aliens are real. We have bodies, or excuse me, we have biological material.
Yeah, which means bodies. Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
UFOs are real, very well documented, and they without question. There are five, not one, not two, not three, not four, but five large underground, under ocean bases that they have identified.
That's right.
Okay. And then a whole bunch of other personal, anecdotal, and experience from pilots, military people from around the world in various sightings and interactions. They have come forward the past 4 years very clearly and said, yes, aliens are real, UFOs are real. They visit this planet and they are here as we speak. No one gives a shit, even though
That's right.
they're openly saying it. Now, there's a comet that what initially was called a comet, and we have a special satellite, the Atlas satellite, that looks specifically for comets and meteors and stuff like that. It's meant to try to build a map so we can protect the planet, right? Good stuff.
Mhm.
And this is the third comet that that particular satellite has identified. Therefore, it's called 3I, number three, uh,
Yes.
Atlas, meaning the satellite's name. Now, everyone's just calling this comet Atlas. Now, it came in to our solar system. And initially, everyone was like, "Oh, comet, okay." And they started talking about it because nerds, you know.
Yep.
And now, as they started examining this comet, they were like, okay, well, this is giving off weird. It's like solid. It's only made of one element, nickel, that we can detect. That's very
Yep.
bizarre. Okay, um, it's moving at erratic speeds. It seems to be controlling its speed and movement, and then it shifted, and then shifted again. Which comets don't change direction, just so you know.
That's
Um,
right.
it has its own illumination, which is, weird. It's the size of
Mhm.
Manhattan, just so you know. And a whole bunch of little things, tons of little things. Its jetting is wrong. Everything about it's wrong. Then the sucker decided to make an actual 90-degree turn and headed toward Mars, and it's on a loop to come right at us.
Nice.
Now, NASA the world's top astrophysicists and a whole bunch of other actual scientists, right? Not conspiracy theorists, not people like you and I, just actual NASA people, right? And actual scientists who hate to admit shit like this. They all think it's at minimum a probe or a spaceship. They all think it is. And they've been talking about this in a panic for over a month and a half. The thing is about to pass by Mars, and we got a really good camera over there and a satellite, and they're going to try to get a better picture of it as it passes and heads toward us. But the general consensus, you just heard the word I said, general consensus of NASA and all the scientists, actual scientists, is that it's probing and scanning the planets of our solar system.
Yeah.
Now, why is not every news channel talking about only that? We talk about
Um,
idiots who shoot investment firm CEOs or illegals, that work for MS-13. That how dare you send them in a country even though the judge said kick them out? Whatever. We go on endless about this useless dumbass shit, but you have an actual ship in the frickin' solar system, and no one's talking about it. Do with
um,
that as you will.
because Chester, it's a conspiracy theory.
Is
See, when
it?
you Google it, that's the first thing it says. It's a conspiracy theory about it being an alien spacecraft
Yeah, but the
because
actual
they're in full
scientists are
damage
saying
control.
that, dude.
Oh yeah, they do that all the time. Remember when the actual scientists pretty much all agreed originally that the COVID definitely came out of the lab, and then all of a sudden, no, it came from a bat, some bat,
Oh, so you're
and then they just
oh,
yeah,
you're being sarcastic. Okay.
yeah, no, of course, that's probably what it is. Listen, I don't know how anybody. It's weird to me that I'm going to take this to a Christian place real quick. It's weird to me that the religious communities of the world, of any of them, by the way, any of the major religions, would doubt that aliens, i.e., demons and angels, exist when the biblical stories are replete with visitations from other worlds.
Well, Jesus did
Even
call
that,
the angels the stars, did he not?
yes, even those exact words, they're from another world.
Yeah.
It says in the Bible. So what are we talking about? Of course they exist. They just call them angels and demons or spirits or whatever. The host of heaven is another term in the Bible
Oh,
that we
humans
don't
have been
really know
talking
what
about
that is.
aliens forever, dude.
Since always,
Yeah.
the some of the ancient the oldest texts we have are talking about clearly about aliens. So
Oh,
there's
sure.
no doubt in my mind that they exist. It's this weird. Everybody has to be this weird nihilistic, pessimistic, self-centered thing nowadays, or they're not taken seriously on like the mainstream or whatever. So to answer your question, why aren't they talking about it? It's because either they've been told to shut up, so they're shutting up, or they already know exactly what it is and they're just not telling anybody, meaning they have contact with this thing or they have contact with other people, other beings that will telling them what this thing is, or uh well, really, those are the only two options that make any sense. Because why wouldn't this be? I didn't hear this first I've heard about it, Chester,
Yeah.
from you right now. That's
Yeah.
how little it's being discussed. I just googled it, and apparently it's all over the place. I just haven't seen it. It's one of
Yeah.
those things like, why is this not talked about more? You talked about the Antarctica meeting.
Yeah.
Why is that not talked about more? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, so many of these
Well,
things,
I
and
understand that covered up. Yeah.
it's because from the top down, there's a directive to keep this hidden. Now, I don't know why. We could argue till we're blue in the face about what the reasoning is. It could just be simple. They don't want panic. That's possible, but I doubt it. It could be that they have deals, like they've said with these creatures, these entities, and they want to make sure, they want to honor their agreements.
Yeah.
It could be all sorts of stuff. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, they've admitted now that for the last 70 or so years, they've been lying to everybody's face when they said they have no record, no evidence of anything alien about UFOs, blah, 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 right? That was the official position until very recently, that this is all BS made up by a bunch of wackadoos. Uh, well, they've completely backtracked on that.
Yeah.
And now they've not only have they backtracked on that, they even say that they've talked to interdimensional beings.
They
that these
do.
beings
They
have
have said
unlocked
that.
parts of
Yeah.
their brains, their minds, like all sorts of crazy things have happened in the last so many few years here. And it because of things like social media and the internet, which you would think would make this even more prevalent, people just don't seem to care.
Yeah. That it's not important. It's not interesting. They're more
Yep.
interested in being angry and spitting fire about inane shit that means
Well, my wife
nothing.
said she actually made a good point. I think it's because everybody kind of already knew, right? Like some people would argue, but it wasn't a good faith argument. I think because my generation, we grew up with like, Star Trek and all this stuff.
Sure.
And maybe I'll put this out there. Maybe that was them conditioning us to
Maybe
not care.
maybe they did too much conditioning.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is really interesting, and of course, we'll see how it all works out. And the way the thing is moving around, it's just going to come by Earth and whatever it scan us, I guess, and carry on its happy little way. It doesn't seem to be. It's what it's doing. It's going to the planets, and it's moving like a son of a bitch too.
Hmm.
So I mean, the thing is, you know, it definitely interstellar. And that's another thing that's the first thing they noticed because it came into the system wicked hot, and then it slowed down.
Yep.
So they seem to have a intersolar speed and then a solar system speed, which kind of makes sense, I guess, right? You don't want to hit random shit, but it's still cooking, right? Now they're saying they think it's just a probe is what they're kind of going with, but do you actually need a probe the size of Manhattan? I mean,
Mm.
wouldn't you? We wouldn't send a probe like that. We'd send a probe probably the size of a freaking Volkswagen, right? Or something even smaller. We wouldn't send Manhattan at
Well,
them,
here's the question though. We live on a planet and our particular size is what it is, right?
right?
Our things are built to a size that accommodates our understanding of space. If
Gravity.
these
Yeah.
entities are from yes, if these entities are from out there, maybe size is that's maybe that is comparatively the same thing. See what I'm saying? Like their
Yeah,
scope is so
sure,
much bigger than ours.
that's
Maybe that to them it's
possible,
the same
but
thing.
the universe seems to be quite standardized, though. I mean, really. We've found lots and lots of planets, and they're all about the same size, a little bigger, a little smaller, same. The
Yeah.
suns are all kind of within an array of sizes. Everything seems to be quite standardized and
Designed, if you will.
designed. And of course,
Uh,
when we look at how molecular life works and how it functions, you could surmise. Now, this is a leap of faith, as it were,
mhm,
but you could
mhm.
surmise that everything in the universe is built upon the same mechanics, because
So far, yeah.
that's what the science suggests. And therefore,
Mhm.
if that's true, then if you go to another planet with life on it, which I'm sure there are trillions of them, right?
Yes.
um, the life on that planet is not going to look too dissimilar to the life on this planet,
Well,
right?
especially if this universe shares one creator.
Yeah, and because when we find like for instance gravity, which we don't even that's a placeholder word by the way, we don't even know what
Yeah.
that is. I think it
Mhm.
has more to do with electrodynamics, electromagnetic
You could
dynamics,
just call it force
force,
because that's
sure.
all it is. It's a
But
force.
what they found in these, because they've been finding planets left and right for quite a while now, right?
Mhm,
And they're finding the gravity is very similar across all of them, right? They're not
mhm.
too far off R0 based or what we would call gravity one, Earth. They're
That's right.
not that dissimilar. The whole universe, from what we can observe, seems to be very standardized.
Yep.
Therefore, you could argue what you just said that, well, most of the living beings that would be sentient would be anything between 3 to 15 feet in height, right?
Most likely, yep.
Yeah. So a something the size of Manhattan is not a probe.
Unless Chester, we're dealing with things that aren't material the way
Yeah,
we
unless you're
understand it.
dealing with dimensional shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
But if it were dimensional, you would assume it would just appeared around Mars
maybe. It would just depend on, we wouldn't
instead of
understand their
cooking in.
technology,
Yeah.
most likely. Maybe it's it could be there could be many variables for why they would do it that way. Maybe they want to be seen.
I think
Maybe
it's
they
a
want us
city of
to know.
aliens. Stop it.
Could be. Could be. You know what? Um maybe it's what's the name of the oh
The
it's in
Anunnaki,
Superman's no, in Superman's lore, there's the not the
Kryptonans.
Kryptonians, but there's the other ones that are very similar to Kryptonian. I can't remember what they're called. They have a whole city that comes to the planet eventually in one of the stories.
Uh-huh.
But it's probably maybe it's them. Maybe they're coming. They're finally
Maybe.
coming for us.
Maybe, or maybe the Anunnaki are returning as prophesized.
Yeah, could
Because
be.
there certainly is, because there's another thing no one talks about is that that other odd body that seems to be kind of floating around on the just the outskirts of Pluto, oddly, and no one talks
Mm.
about that planet. But there's a lot of shit going on. People
How many
just do not
planets do
talk
we
about.
have now? It's changing every other day, it seems like, how
Well,
much is out in our solar system.
it depends on how you quantify it. We have
Yeah.
hundreds of planets in our system, hundreds.
Yes.
Yes. If you want to do what they qualify as a planet or planetoid, they're currently at 8, right? But there are hundreds. Jupiter and Saturn have tons around them. We
Yep.
have the so-called Kuiper belt. There are at least 2 or 3 planets that they have discovered beyond Pluto.
Yes.
So we don't know the number, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And of course, our planet itself is a two-body system, right? We got us and the moon.
Right.
Um, and but yeah, no, there are hundreds of planetoids in our system, hundreds, and a lot of
Yep.
the stuff around Jupiter and Saturn, particularly, are very similar size to us. Because keep in mind, we know scientifically, this isn't even argued, by the way. We know Earth is from Saturn.
Yes.
We were born from Saturn, and we originally were going around Saturn, and somehow we got where we are separate from Saturn. The
Got
only
flung off.
argument is when that happened, right? That's
Right.
the only argument of when that happened. That's the fact that we are originally from there, because slowly but surely the accretion method of planetary formation is dying the justifiable death that it should,
Yep.
because we know where planets come from. These dwarf quiet suns, which we call Saturn and Jupiter, for us, right? But these
Yep.
little suns, they, instead of spitting out all the elements of creation at our incredibly fast rate like our sun does, they just kind of dribble, and it dribbles inside. And when that mass of minerals and all those things on the periodic table, and maybe a few we don't know yet, when they come to a critical mass, the polarity shifts and they push away out of their parent like a cancer ball, right? And
Right.
then they try to find their orbit amongst all the others, but occasionally they run into each other,
Yep.
and that's what happened. Earth is that, Mars
Interesting.
is from Saturn, Venus is from Saturn, Mercury's from Jupiter.
Interesting that many of them that planet we're on comes from the one we named after Saturn.
Yeah,
That's very interesting. That's peculiar.
the
Huh.
father of time. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Interesting.
yeah.
Curious, even,
Curious. Well,
if
there's a
you
lot of
will.
curious things you can go down the rabbit hole with that. But
Mhm.
and that's just how it goes. But anyway, it is very interesting. I'm definitely watching it with bated breath. Who knows? Maybe it'll turn out to be nothing, or at least they'll tell us it's nothing. But it is interesting, the world we live in. Um, let's see. Jupiter is where girls go to get more stupider. Thank you, Booster. We're discussing alien spaceships approaching Earth, Booster. They've
Yeah,
come for
we have
you.
they're coming. They
Yes.
are in fact coming. The Romulans. I think it's the Romulans.
It could be the Romulans, those
Yeah,
sneaky bastards.
they're sneaky.
But
You gotta watch them.
anyway, I'm gonna go make some coffee. You talk to Booster if you have to.
Chester's gonna go make coffee. I'm gonna talk about the Romulans. I like the Romulans in Star Trek. Big fan of the Romulans. I think they were underused throughout much of Star Trek's golden age, which in my opinion was the '90s. They were used a little bit. They had some bits here or there. They even got a movie or so, but I just think they're cool. I think they're an interesting concept, an exile race that grew to be more powerful than their progenitor in a lot of ways. Um, I liked one of the things about Star Trek, since apparently we're talking about aliens, that was so cool was oftentimes they would present, especially back in the day, they'd present these alien races antagonistically. Romulans being a great example. Klingons originally, as another example. But they did a very good job of trying to make you believe that these were real cultures. So, like the Romulan culture itself was very interesting. I think they did a really good job of delineating it from the Vulcans, which is where they're derived. And I don't know, I always liked the Romulans. I love their ship design. I thought it was the coolest ship design in Star Trek personally. Always loved them. The Birds of Prey. Um, the fact that they had whole in Next Generation, they have a whole episode where they find a bird of prey and it's in this weird like time loop situation. That's pretty cool. Like they're just a really cool little faction in Star Trek that I don't think we got to see enough of personally. One of the other ones, I'm sorry, one of the only times we really get to see something really really cool with them in the Next Generation is that episode where Spock goes to Romulus to try and broker peace between them and the Vulcans. That's a really good one. I believe it's a 2 or 3 part episode. Highly recommend. If you're listening to this and you've never seen it, go watch it. It's one of the best Star Trek episodes of all time. We get to see it. We get to see Ambassador Spock uh, doing Ambassador Spock things, and you get to see some Picard and Spock action, which is great. But yeah, no, I like one of the great things about growing up when I grew up with Star Trek and honestly, it was probably the last great age of sci-fi, like actual sci-fi, because you had Star Trek all over television, and then obviously you had the movies too, but you had it all over TV. Then you had a bunch of smaller franchises doing similar things that existed during that time too. They were also very science fictiony. And then obviously you had things like the X Files and what have you. It was just an interesting thing. So I had mentioned earlier that I wonder if because we know these people what they do the we'll call them the owners, as George Carlin used to say. One of the things that they do is they condition the public to be ready for things. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to go all the way down the rabbit hole if one of the reasons why there was such this huge push for space sci-fi in the 90s and early 2000s, late the 80s to really the late 70s is when it started, but all the way up until the early 2000s or so was because they were conditioning us to just not care once they started admitting everything. Everything. They just started admitting everything about aliens and oh yeah, we've been talking to them. Yeah, they exist. Oh, we got some organic material. Excuse me? Yeah, it's not a big deal. Seems like a big deal. Seems like something we should have a little bit more of a discussion about than just some throwaway message somewhere. Uh, but no, that's pretty much what we've gotten from it. Cowboy diplomacy is a great line. Cowboy diplomacy, as Booster said over here, because it's very, very true, especially when it comes to Kirk. He was very much he was still sophisticated, especially in the movies. He gets a little bit more sophisticated, but he had that edge to him that Picard definitely didn't have. And I think it was very interesting to watch. I'm trying to think. I don't think in Kirk's movies. No, he doesn't deal with the Romulans much. He deals with a lot of Klingon stuff. He deals with some Vulcan stuff. Yeah, mostly Klingon, because that back in that era, the Klingons were still the bad guys. You see, they were still the bad boys. It wasn't until TNG where we got to flesh them out a little bit. Which also another great example. Klingons, their culture is amazing. The way they fleshed it out, it was believable. It was, and what I mean by believable is it's plausible that it could exist at the level that it does. One of the things that is a little bit of a stretch is their complete hatred of science. It's seemingly, uh, and yet somehow they're a spacefaring race, which is like, wait a minute, how'd they get to this point? How did they get here? But it's one of the things that that Star Trek always did very well. Is it fleshed out the side races? Typically, like I said, they show up as antagonists. Another great example is the Ferengi, which didn't really start to get fleshed out until Deep Space Nine. They did a pretty good job. The problem I had with that is because we were near the end of Star Trek's golden era, if you will. They started to The writers started to let their own political leanings seep into the stories they were telling. So one of the things they did is they liberalized the Ferengi, and that annoyed the piss out of me because they were such an interesting, cool culture, and you basically just turned them into like heading towards just being humans effectively. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. That sucks. But yeah, but Deep Space Nine otherwise was great.
It was a great
Um,
show.
the I've been rambling about Star Trek while you were gone,
Yeah,
Chester.
that's
That's
good.
all.
I
Yeah.
understood that. And cowboy
Yeah.
diplomacy involves a chuck wagon booster, just so you know. Uh,
No,
I've heard people
that's
use
one of
that
the
term,
famous lines.
cowboy diplomacy. What is that supposed to mean?
It's one of the famous lines from Star Trek, where they're talking about the old ways of basically like Kirk's ways, much more cowboy diplomacy. Uh, which is true. He was much less formal in his diplomacy than like
Effective,
Picard
though.
was. Oh, extremely effective. Extremely effective. Extremely effective. No, I was just saying that it's because we made the joke that it might be the Romulans, and I was just going on about I like the Romulans. I think they're underserved
Yeah, they haven't
species or
been
whatever in
explored
Star
well
Trek.
enough. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And it's unfortunate we had the kind of nonsense with going on Kurtzman and, of course, Bad
Oh.
Robot and all the woke crap. But
Hmm.
we did see in Enterprise a little glimpse of what the Romulans' initial contact with the Romulans could have been, right?
Yes.
For sure. And Elrod says, "Pup." Okay. But
Uh,
I did have a question though, off of Star Trek, which we could talk about for hours. But I
we
do have
could.
a question.
Yep.
Um, Now, seeing as America is so easy to immigrate to, our system.
Yeah.
You're
Hmm.
not required to have any money in the bank. We have no requirement. Most countries require you have a certain bank account that is frozen for safety measures as far as that country is concerned. There's all kind of requirements to go to countries around the world, right? Most
Yep.
countries in the world you can immigrate to, but it takes money. But Japan,
Right.
excuse me, America doesn't, right? Immigration in America is quite easy, and from what I understand, the process, if you're diligent about it, is about 7 years to become a citizen. I mean, shit, there are
Give or
countries
take.
on the world that it's a minimum 20, 30 years to become a citizen.
Yes.
No joke, right? So, all right, now seeing as that is a fact, I don't know how you could argue that, right? That's a fact. Why are there so many millions of people coming to the country illegally when it's so easy to just do it legally?
Um.
I mean, there must be a reason, right? Because if you can just come to America as easy as you can because it is what it is, why do it illegally?
I do not know. I genuinely don't know why these people do what they do, Chester. A lot of them are paid too. We know that for a fact. We've busted NGOs have been busted doing that. But I don't know. I I, I truly don't know. Uh, you would think it would make much more sense to try and do it the right way, but you see, here's one of the problems with bureaucracy. Probably the main one is it makes it easier to break the law because it's so much more difficult to just follow the law.
Right.
So why
It can
wait the
be.
7 years, jump through all the hoops, do all this stuff, make sure you do this and this and this when you just don't have to?
Yeah, but 7 years goes by in a blink. If you're,
Yeah.
because you come in legally and do the normal shtick, get yourself a green card, which isn't very hard.
Yep.
and it's really, really not hard, right? And you just go about your day, getting you find yourself a job and do the normal life things. And every now and then in that process, there's some things you have to do, so you just schedule it and go down and do it. And then you take your test and you become a citizen, right? Naturalized an American. It's a blink of an eye process, really.
Yep. Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't
uh,
have an answer for you.
Booster thinks they just don't know the process. Well, I think that this is the you're assuming that these people have no agency whatsoever, and a lot of people do make these assumptions that oh, they just didn't know better. Like all the girls getting raped in Sweden are like, well, they just don't know any better. And it's like, well, do you really think there's any society on this planet that rape is legal? I mean, let's be fair. Do you think that these people trying to come into the country don't know they're doing an illegal act? Do you really think there's some language or cultural barrier that's knowing that sneaking across the border is not an illegal thing? I mean, right?
He was calling them stupid, um, which they are. We have the data on this. Most of
Yeah,
them are
yeah,
very,
but
very
even
dumb.
though they know right from
Oh,
wrong,
they absolutely know it's illegal. They don't care.
no,
That's
clearly
why they should
not.
just be immediately deported. They don't need trials. They don't need any of that stuff. That's ridiculous. Get them out of
No,
here.
I don't know why. That's another thing I don't get. The title of today's show is "We the People," right?
That's right.
And once again, all of those Bill of Rights, which we covered a little bit last week, and all of those constitutionally protected things, those are for we, the people of the United
Right.
States of America, right? It doesn't cover foreigners, non-citizens. You are not we the people. You are not protected by our laws. You are not protected by our Bill of Rights. They do not apply to you. Now, usually we kind of just extend the right because it's the nice thing and the human thing to do. But if we're going to be pedantic about it, they are not protected by our Bill of Rights. They are not protected by our Constitution at all. They're not. And I don't understand why we have so many people pushing back, demanding constitutional rights for people who don't have them.
I don't either.
I mean,
Well,
would
I
we?
do. Yes, I do. It's because they want these people here. Because the very first thing they're going to do as soon as they get the power to is they're going to grant them all amnesty, and now they have infinite voters forever.
Yeah,
That's why.
you know, but that they're really dumb and make lots of mistakes, and therefore they shut down the government. And Trump is just like a little pig, a little pig in a blanket. He's a happy little boy. Honestly, I hope they never pass another budget ever.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
That would be
Keep the
great.
shutdown.
Just make sure that we have a clause in there, which I think we already do, to make sure that the military and essential stuff is paid. But beyond that, let it stay shut down, dude. Let it stay shut down.
Um,
There's what 3 million federal employees. Fire every single one of them, because the thing is, the states have their very own identical system. Why do we need a redundancy of 51 when we already have 50? I mean, really.
stupid.
It is, dude. Let this thing stay shut down. What about all the park rangers? Well, let the states manage their own damn parks. I mean,
Yes.
to be fair, right? I mean, this should be all a state matter. And all these people losing their job. What about all these people losing their jobs? Well, tell them to go to the state and get the job there. If they're worthy enough to take it from the person who has it already, right? It's so ridiculous. I love the fact that the Democrats are so stupid that they were willing to freeze the budget over health care for illegal immigrants. Are you
That's right.
shitting me? But hey, Trump is a happy boy. And he's like, oh, it's just horrible. They shut down the government. It's just horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, real terrible. I'm real heartbroken. Can you
It
tell?
does, Elrod. They do shut down every weekend and on holidays. The total days worked by feds 2 weeks. Fair enough. Uh, but learn to code. That is right. Elrod's on a bit of a rant himself. Oh, I'm so happy with it. Just keep that shit shut down. We don't need none of it. We don't need none of it. The federal government is responsible for what, Thundero?
Um, for what? They're responsible for defending the borders. They
Yep.
got that
So
job.
military.
Uh,
Okay.
they're supposed to be the intermediary between the states. They got
Yep.
that job.
Negotiation.
And that's about it.
Logistics. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah,
Logistics. Military
yeah.
logistics and infrastructure. I throw infrastructure in there.
Well,
The interstate.
transnational infrastructure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They should
yeah,
be overseeing
and
that.
interstate stuff, like the highway system that Truman built. But
Yeah,
was it Truman or
that he stole from the
Eisenhower?
Germans.
It was Truman, right?
I think it was started by Truman and finished by Eisenhower, I
Okay,
believe.
fair enough.
That they
But
stole from the Germans.
of course, the Germans were masters of many things. But that's it. That's the only thing the federal government is responsible for, right? That's it. And honestly, we should go to the system that many of the red states have. Those elected officials, first of all, get paid way too much money, right?
Yep.
Second, these congressmen and senators, they should only meet 1 month a year. That's it. If there's an emergency, they can gather around, but they should
Yes.
meet 1 month a year, come together. I would say, hey, November. November is a pretty quiet month. You got the Thanksgiving. We can get it done before Thanksgiving. How about that? We don't even need a full month. You come in, you have discussions. Hey, is there anything we need to cover for this year? Anything that needs touch up? And then go home.
Yep.
That's it. And I'd say, for that effort for the American people, I will happily give you 50,000, maybe 100,000, and that's about it. That's about. I don't even think they're worth that much. But they shouldn't be in Washington all the time. They shouldn't be doing that because all they do is constantly put forward bills that they try to pass so they can say, "Look what I did," even though all that bill did was stack upon another dozen bills that are already there
Yes.
doing the exact same thing. They don't do anything. There is nothing new under the sun. I remember having this conversation with my son, and he said, "Well, what about this?" And he held up his smartphone. And for me, it's like, well, what about it? Is there anything about the smartphone technology that needs additional law? Anything? Fraud is still
Uh,
illegal. Theft is still illegal. People's privacy must be maintained. I mean, what rule do we need extra for the smartphone? I mean, honestly, we don't need anything. We have laws already. And I would, and Trump has stated this several times. Several times. His goal is to make his job obsolete. And boy, I'd love for him. He won't be, but I'd love for him to be successful. And now I don't know that the follow up, which is probably going to be JD Vance, I don't know that he's interested in that at all because he is a career politician. But
yep.
man, I would love to see the federal government just be cut down to 1% of what it is. 1%, right? And we, with tariffing and all the other various basically functioning things of any state, every other country in the world tariffs normally. It's only America that wasn't doing that because of the damn Monroe Doctrine, right?
Yep.
If we just do that normally and collect a certain amount of taxes from the states, you don't even need much. The federal government can maintain itself at a very high degree. You can have probably a more banging military than we got now, right?
Probably.
And let the states do what they do, and then let the people choose, right? People are flooding out of California into Idaho, Texas, Arizona, Florida, Tennessee, right? Now, the only thing I can hope is they don't bring their stupid politics with them. The only thing I can hope is that they learned something. I doubt they did, though.
Almost certainly they did not.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to see what I got today? Unless you want to add something
Let's
to that.
let's see it. You know what? Let's see it because if I talk more about these people, I'm gonna say things that aren't. I'm not allowed. They're not Christian. You see. Not
Yeah.
Christian to say.
Well, they are assholes. Go ahead.
Loading. Eventually. There it goes. Amazon censors James Bond posters, removes guns from 007's hands. Oh, joy.
Now, Amazon bought James Bond. We
Just
covered
brought it
this
up.
when it happened. The Broccoli's finally gave up the ghost, and they are getting old, and they had no one to carry it on, I guess. Now, of course, Amazon and Jeff Bezos. What kind of tomfoolery are they going to get up to with James Bond? To be fair, I
Hmm.
don't know that I care. I mean, honestly, I haven't even seen the last one. Do I need
You
more
don't.
James Bond movies? Do I really? Not
Yeah,
really.
no. Well, if we got good ones, it could be fun,
Maybe.
but
Sure.
we're not going to get
Um,
those.
but now keep in mind, this is I think Doctor No, isn't it? I think. But anyway, they you can see they didn't. He's still got his hand sitting here. They just kind of curled the finger in with AI and or Photoshop and took his little Walter PPK away, which he's always had a small gun. But um, why though? And it's not just this poster: Goldfinger, Thunderball, Goldeneye, Skyfall. They all had guns on the poster. Of course, it's James Bond. The frickin' opening credits to every James Bond is him shooting a gun, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I know Bezos, although I don't know how much he's actually involved in the day to day. He's banging his new ugly wife. Leave him be. But anyway, um, why?
I don't know. They have
It's
this
weird.
weird aversion to guns that I can't explain. Like just the sight of them triggers them, which is just strange to me. Like it's a piece of machinery. Why are you so upset at a piece of machinery?
It's just a little
Um,
one.
yeah, and it's just a little baby one. No, they did this. If you remember right, they did this with what was another one that I can't remember now. Recently, they just did it. They edited out the guns from the posters and whatnot because they didn't want to offend people.
Yeah,
Uh, to me, if you get offended at the sight of a gun,
that's right. Yeah.
please do the world a favor and just look at a wall. Just stare at a wall with
Mhm.
just a blank wall for the rest of your life. Because we don't need whatever you were going to contribute. That ship's done sailed. We don't need your contributions to society. So please stop. Just stop.
Mhm.
No, it's pathetic, weak nonsense. They're trying because one of the things that they've been trying to do for a while is take away America's gun culture, right? Try and de-gun America by attacking the gun culture. It hasn't worked at all. It continues to fail. Americans have more guns than ever. They love guns more than ever, and it's simply not going to work. And if they try to put out a James Bond movie that is not gun centric, it's going to fail miserably because one of
Wow.
the iconic things about James Gunn is his Walther.
James Bond. Yeah, his Walther. Yeah,
Or yeah, James Bond.
100%. Dude, but look at all the posters they altered.
Yeah,
Holy crap, dude.
yeah, yeah. It's stupid,
It
dumb.
is.
It's
And then, of
it's kind
course,
of like that Uncharted movie that came out, and Nathan Drake has a gun in his hand for a grand total of 10 seconds, and that's it. That's all. That's it. Even though if you ever play the Uncharted games, you're shooting everything that moves. No, no, we can't have that happen. Can't have Nathan Drake shooting guns in a movie based on a game where all he does most of the time is shoot guns. And
yeah,
the
no,
worst part
I
is
right.
they look ridiculous.
They do because it's like, well, if you got to take the gun away, move his arm down. AI can do
Yeah.
that, no problem, right?
Yep.
I mean, because clearly there's supposed to be a gun there, right? This one's still sitting here on the bottom, but that's a Blu-ray cover. Uh-huh. Okay, Charles. Here's
Shake
some of
weights.
the original ones. But and look how sanitized they made them too, because
Of
there are
course.
multiple posters for movies, right? It's not just this one. So,
Yes.
but it's just bizarre, dude. Um, it's just for the movie listings on Amazon Prime Video itself. The Blu-rays are not affected. But it's just weird because, and the one of the problems that they have with James Bond is, because we've said this from the beginning, this is all about attacking things men like. If
That's
you
right.
look at the whole totality of this woke attack, it's on, and it's been going on, what, 12 years now or more, really. Um, it's all about attacking things that men like, very specifically, from board games to comics to movies to TV to music to everything, right? Even people's relationships. And they desperately want to make a female Bond, which, to be fair, just make 006 or 025 or whatever, come up with a good sounding number, and you could have your own female agent. You could give it a try. It's going to turn out like the ballerina is what's going to happen, but you can have a go at it. But let's leave James alone, right? But they can't do that. You know what they've done with this girl? She completely cucked him out. Basically, spent 2 movies chastising him for daring to have sex with women. Who do you think you are, even? Right? That's what they're all about. That's what they want. I don't know why they sold to frickin' Bezos, but it is what it is. I guess eventually everything gets sold out. Um, and no article. Barbara Broccoli will have no involvement whatsoever. I guarantee it. Um, so we have the new movie coming. It's being directed by Denis Villeneuve, which I like the look of his movies. They are interesting to look at, if not gray and brown in color, which is his color. But they are
Yeah.
visually interesting. And he's got that slow burn pace, which I'm older. I don't mind, right? But is he really the best choice for a Bond director, though? I mean, Bond is a little more colorful and lively, right? It's not. And please bring back Q and the gadgets. I mean, what the hell, guys?
Yeah.
That was one of the fun. It's because Bond is tongue in cheek, dude. That's why no one really accepted Daniel Craig as Bond, because it's not. It's Jason Bourne English version. It's not the tongue in cheek, fun whimsy of the British people, right?
Right.
But I don't know. I'm not hate. I don't hate on Villeneuve, but I don't know that he fits for me. His wife is taking care of production, which I don't know if that means anything. But there are 2 other people here that I think we need to pay attention to. Who else is executive producing here? Amy Pascal and David Hyman. Wow. Amy Pascal is an absolute disaster. She is the essence of progressive wokeness, the essence of it. And David Hyman, his family name is literally a part of a female she loses.
Yes.
I'll let that burn there for a second.
That's right. Yeah.
I need a chuckle. Waiting for the chuckle.
You're ridiculous.
Thank you.
Um,
All right. But dude, I don't know that there's any hope for this. You have any hope for this?
Not really. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but not really. James Bond, unfortunately, in my opinion, ended with Pierce Brosnan. Even though I like Casino Royale, it's fine.
Yeah,
Skyfall's okay too.
Scott, it's okay. Yeah.
He just doesn't feel like James Bond really at any point. Those
No, he
movies, like,
doesn't.
yeah,
And the only reason, because I think he could have been fine, although he's not really the James Bond character. He's more the Jason Bourne character. But there's 2 real problems with it. One, there's no Q doing weird, fun gadgets.
right,
Hardly, right? Hardly anything. It's like Christopher Nolan not wanting Supernatural to touch his Batman. It's like, dude, it's a comic book, right? Anyway, so you got that. And the other problem is James Bond, if you look at all the guys who played it before Craig, they are beautiful men, handsome men. They gain attention. An actual spy, like Matt Damon plays in the Bourne series, would look more like Matt Damon and Daniel Craig, not people that stand out in a crowd. Normal, They're not exceptional. They don't look exceptional. That's what a spy would be, sure. But this is a fantasy series. So they have handsome, beautiful men that would never be spies,
No,
right? And that's kind of, they miss the campiness of that. That's the problem. They took all the camp out. And to be fair, Roger Moore maybe took it a little bit too far. Okay.
maybe,
But
yeah.
we don't have to backtrack to frickin' Matt Damon. We could have backtracked to, the man himself right here. Anyway, I have no
No
hope
love.
for it whatsoever, dude. None.
Yeah, me neither. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It is a shame because it would be nice to have James Bond back again, real James Bond. It could be fun, but we're not allowed. Chester, we're simply not allowed. And you knew
Yeah.
it was going to happen the moment that they came out and basically said they weren't going to have Henry Cavill be James, even though they already have him on contract at Amazon. Uh,
Yeah.
which is retarded.
Well,
He's
that's probably
perfect.
Warhammer related.
Yeah. Well, they could, he's. But my point is, he's there. Would be
Yeah,
easy to
yeah,
start
yeah, yeah. It
negotiations.
could, yeah, but I mean, Henry has been abused because he's just a bloke, and they hate that. They hate that. Even though he's beloved, they will spite their nose for their face, right? But anyway, yeah, I have no faith for this whatsoever, and they completely don't get James Bond at all, at all. So fair enough. It is moving down. Your boy.
My boy, the man, the myth, and the legend, Channing Tatum, hypes Avengers Doomsday, calls it times 50. Oh, Channing, times 50 bigger than Deadpool. Well, yeah, I would imagine, Channing. I'd hope it would be bigger than Deadpool.
Um,
Uh,
because he had a cameo in Deadpool is why.
yeah. Well,
This
yeah.
this
Just
smacks of
gambit.
desperation. Our boy here is quite desperate. Quite desperate.
Yes.
Yes, very desperate. I don't think he's gotten a call in a while. Yeah. And of course, he's very excited. This whole article is just about his random excitements for how mind-blowingly, awesomely bigger and cooler this Avengers Doomsday is. But of course, all the information we get out of it is there's constant infighting. It's an absolute debacle, reshoots upon reshoots, and of course, the plot has been leaked where Tony is the ultimate bad guy, evil guy in this thing. And it just doesn't sound fun or interesting whatsoever. They even asked him in an interview, Hero Channing, who's the troublemaker over there over in the set, and he started with, duh, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So basically, he's saying, what's his name, Robert? What's his name? Guy that plays Tony Stark.
Robert Downey Jr.
Downey, yeah, Downey. So I guess he was kind of hinting at Downey being the problem. And I don't know. Would you be surprised? I wouldn't be.
No, I mean they brought him back, paid him a ton of money.
Yeah,
He's probably used to kind of getting his own way when it comes to this because
sure.
he earned it. Uh, and maybe they're not. Maybe it's not going the way he wants it to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. And
Very
we're about
possible.
a little over a year out for it. But the thing is, I have a feeling this thing's going to bomb hard, dude. Hard.
Yeah.
People are just done with Disney. They're done with the crap. They're done with all of this shit. Now, Channing, you precious little thing, I understand you really want to have some success so you can get a phone call and get a job here or there. I get you. I got you, buddy. I got you. But this is a bit simpy. A little bit simpy. Channing.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just going to call him Channing from now on. It's easier than saying his
Nice.
whole name. Yeah. But yeah, I thought when I read this, I thought, oh, that is, oh, you are desperate, buddy. But this guy is just never hit, has he?
No, I don't know, and I don't really know why because all the women like him. At least they used to. I don't know about anymore. He's gotten a little older. But back in the day, and I never quite understood it, but he was really popular with women. But for
But
whatever
he's
reason, it's one of those things. He just never
just didn't hit. Yeah, but he's
didn't work.
kind of lame though.
He is, but he can be funny. he has his funny moments.
Yeah.
The
Well,
21
I'm not
Jump Street,
against him
22 Jump Street
personally.
movies are pretty
Yeah,
good.
I
He's pretty
didn't
funny
watch
in 'em.
those. Yeah, I had no interest in that. Taking something from the past and making it a comedy. I don't really care about that shit, dude. His name is Yef. Yeah, no, his name isn't great.
My name Jeff. My name Jeff. Um, no, I like Channing Tatum. I think he's one of those actors who, for some reason, like you said, just never really got the hit. And then when he finally did kind of get a
Hold on a second.
franchise for himself, oh, holding. Did he leave? What happened? I think he left. When he finally did get a kind of a franchise for himself, GI Joe, he was at the front of that at the beginning. I believe it was him, and then they replaced him with The Rock. So, whoops, oops a doodle. But yeah, and then he just kind of got pushed aside in Hollywood for a very long time, and only was doing bit parts or just cameos, kind of like this here. Uh, I don't really know why. It just happens sometimes to these actors. They just don't hit, or they won't play ball certain ways, maybe, or whatever, and that's all it takes. But I'm glad he's getting some work. Hopefully, he has a pretty good, decent sized role as old Gambit. He actually was a great Gambit in the Daredevil, the Deadpool movie. Um, so hopefully, yeah, hopefully we get to see more. The thing that I'm interested in, the only thing I'm even remotely interested in when it comes to Marvel right now isn't even this because it's going to be a debacle. The
Yeah.
only thing that I'm kind of interested in is the X-Men because X-Men as a group are my favorite. Um, I'm just curious what they're going to do. It's more a curiosity than it is an interest. Interest is the wrong word. I'm not going to go watch it, but I am curious what they're going to do because they had about 100 different ways they could have brought them in and make it make sense, right? For the lore that they built because they didn't have rights to them. How are they going to do it now? Is the question. Like all of a sudden mutants? That's just the explanation. Now there's just mutants and that's it. There's no
Well,
explanation as to why.
they would take actual writers and consideration, and you're
Yeah,
asking a lot, dude.
I am. I'm asking a lot for them to do their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you know, but yeah, no, I mean, it's a golden opportunity actually for them to transition into something else. But the problem is they've been so focused on the feminist agenda that they have, that they don't care anything about storytelling. They're just pushing the feminist agenda. Now, occasionally we've had a few little story bits come through that are kind of interesting just by chance, I think. But in general, that's the focus. Look at so much of the stuff they've come out with. It's all about breaking down the male and showing that men are stupid, particularly the white ones. Women are everything. They've been doing this for years and years and years, right?
Yeah.
And that's their mode. And for them to shift that mode and go into, hey, let's get back to being storytellers, shall we? You just have to fire everybody. Everybody you clean slate that shit. Clean slate it. Everybody involved with the original run, which wasn't bad at all for a decade. Fire everybody. Everyone knows it. It's done. Get rid of all of it. Let it sit for a couple of years. Do other shit. You are Disney. You own things. You got
Yes.
all that Fox stuff. Why don't you lean into that a little bit? Do some of that stuff. Let it sit. Get a team that actually cares about the product, actually loves it, and have them put some together a reboot, but not a reboot, and just a reintroduction of the universe, starting with the X-Men, with the mutants. And they already let themselves open for it with their multiverse stuff. Fine, there you go. Go to a different Earth, right? Easy enough. That's the only option, dude. The people who are currently there cannot make it happen. They can't. They're all jaded. They're all inundated and indoctrinated into the system. And the old people, I'm sure, are sick and tired of it, and they just want to move on to other things, right?
Yes.
That's the only option. A clean slate. Just let everybody go. Thanks. We had a great run, guys. Everybody made a ton of money, particularly Robert Downey Jr. You guys do great in your future. Best of luck. And then just get a completely new creative team and go do some of the Fox properties. I mean, we talked about this before. Let me do this real quick again, though. Right? Let's come
Yep.
over here real quick. Let's take a look what they own. Right? Of course, they screwed up Star Wars and Marvel, to be fair, but Fox IPs. Let's take a look here. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, here we go. Maybe. Okay, internet, do your thingy. No, that's not going to give me what I want. All right. Yeah, what intellectual properties does Fox own? Fair enough. That's what I want. Okay, internet is doing a loady thing. All right, let's see here. Are they going to give me a list? And I know we looked at it before. Okay. No, not getting it. How would be a better way to ask that? Fox, what is it called? Fox Studios, I guess.
20th Century Fox, maybe?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
We're joined.
Who joined us?
It's me.
Mr.
Oh, hi
Miracle.
you.
Hi.
Um, yeah. See, this is not what an IP is. Does the internet not understand what an IP is?
No, I don't think
Apparently.
it does.
So how else would I say it other than the way you say it?
Question.
Shows, movies, just movies, I guess. Oh, let me just do
Properties.
movies.
I'm,
No, they'd probably go to give me actual sites. AI is dumb for being as smart as it is. Here we go. This is only in the 21st century. But we got football stuff. We got the Big Mama stuff. Titan AE. That was a lot of fun. Of course, we have some lots of drama stuff. Tigerland. Um, yeah, there's a ton of things, dude. This their top 100 movies. All right, let's take a look at this. This will be good. All right, let's see what they could focus on while they rework everything. Right, Avatar is ongoing. Ice Age, I think, is ongoing. Independence Day, please no more. Planet of the Apes, my God, stop. Oh, we're in trouble here. Already done that. That was, you have to be a right kind of person for that. No, Night at the Museum, maybe, maybe. The day after tomorrow. How about the day after that? Huh? How about that? Okay. The Kung Fu Panda is played out. Revenant, that's a standalone. Um, ooh, I think I'm seeing the problem. They rebooted
yeah.
this as Black People. Sweet. Because Black People is certainly going to do some obscure movie that no one really even liked. Better. Home Alone. Oh, that would hurt. Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay. Castaway, a horror movie about a horrible woman. Let's see. Narnia. They didn't really give Narnia the love it deserved, don't you think?
Of course
I
not.
thought Netflix was gonna ruin it.
Oh, they probably will. Are they? Did they own it? They got a hold of it now? Oh
Yeah,
no. Oh goodness gracious.
they were supposed to be working on one a while back. It must have got canceled because it was supposed to be, I'm pretty sure, out sooner than later.
Boy, imagine them woking that up with their sensibilities. Ooh.
Oh, that there was already rumors of stuff I think they were changing the color of the cast for one.
Yeah, but you know how they are with their weird sexual deviancies, dude.
Oh yeah, I know.
Um, the Kingsman. I enjoyed this series. You guys like the Kingsman?
I didn't
Uh,
like the last one very much, but yeah.
I never,
It was all
I
right.
I've never watched The Kingsman.
Oh, the first one is a banger, dude. First one's an absolute banger. Second one's okay. Third one's okay. But the first one's an absolute banger. You have to watch that, dude. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the first one's really good.
yeah. It's great. Perfect. It's a movie that has perfect pacing,
Yeah,
right? Night at Museum. What do you guys think about that? Could we get a little bit more Night at Museum stuff?
maybe. I like the Night of the Museum movies. I think
Yeah.
they're good.
I mean, Stiller's still
Yeah,
about. He's not dead yet.
I thought they were pretty funny.
Yeah, I enjoy. They're a great
Uh,
family movie.
one of the problems with the Night at the Museum is Robin Williams.
True, but there are other historical characters. I mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I think they didn't do it because of Robin Williams.
Maybe, maybe. Fair enough. I mean, he was a wonderful part of it, but there was a lot of great character acting going on in that, and it was good family fun stuff.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, no, no alien stuff. Please stop. This alien Earth thing
Well, they
is so bad. It's so stupidly written, dude.
yeah. I don't know. Is has it? You've watched it? It's that bad.
It is. It's like it's written by a 12-year-old,
That's
right?
disappointing. 'Cause I was told to check it out by multiple people now.
No, dude. I mean, so the visual stuff's interesting, and they are trying to expand the lore, which is, that's cool. And it's got his woke stuff, but it's not like it's outrageous, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
it's just so dumb. It doesn't make sense. And I mean, how hard is it to make your thing make sense? I mean, honestly, it's outrageous, dude. It's so bad, really, really bad. Yeah, sorry to disappoint.
Oh, I don't know. I'll still probably check it out to see what I think.
You should. Yeah, absolutely. Die Hard. I don't know. We don't need any more of that. I don't even
Well,
think
we
you could reboot that. Could you reboot Die Hard? I think
Oh,
that's
no.
lightning in a bottle right there.
that's ridiculous if they would even try.
It would be impossible. I think it's such a niche thing. Bruce is just the embodiment of it. To be fair, but they own it. True Lies. We've seen this kind of idea that the husband is a spy or the wife is a spy and the partner doesn't know type of thing. Slumdog Millionaire, okay. Taken, no more. Penguins, no. There's something about Mary. There was nothing about Mary. Not a damn thing about Mary. Gone Girl. Um, yeah, no. Minority Report. There was no. Speak, God, no, please, no. iRobot, you could do something with that, maybe. I'm trying to look. What I'm trying to do, Adrian, is look for something that Disney could do, shut down Marvel for a couple of years, rework it, and come out with something new with the X-Men. Is what I'm looking for. Is there something in the IPs they own, because they own Fox, that they could spend a few years focusing on this and leave Marvel to the side for a while? The Maze Runner stuff. I mean, if you did it right, because the thing they did was so,
Not
what was that?
they didn't do it right.
No, they didn't do it right. It was too much CW.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a Maze Runner.
No, Black Swan. No, God, no, and no. It wasn't Maze Runner. That's right. Drama.
Well,
Boy, I'm not seeing anything. You guys.
I
Now
think
here,
there's
how
really,
about this? Go ahead.
I don't think there is anything.
Maybe that's the problem, but
How
or
about, how about we try new properties?
that would be
Oh,
great, but they are very adverse to such things. But Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, actually really interesting little movie. I think in the first one, the reason why it didn't really hit was because they tried to do way too much. They should have backed it up and just done, introduce the characters first. You don't need to have universe ending stuff in every damn movie. Just do a simple little story, man.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
they're
I
not
liked it though.
doing any story, let alone just a normal story.
Yeah. Turbo, Garden Snail, super fast. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Night and Day, that didn't work. Borat, God. Robots. They could do more robots. To be fair, they could do more with that. Yeah. Aragon. They screwed the hell out of that dude.
Yeah, they that's another property that got messed up.
Yeah. You know what they should do? Go speak to Margaret Weiss, and do her Dragonlance stuff. Or did she also do the Dragons of Pern? Was that her or somebody else?
Oh no, that's not her. But
Yeah.
don't get me started on Dragonlance because they were going to do Dragonlance. Joe Magnanella or whatever,
Right.
he was deep involved in that because he is actually a D&D nerd,
Oh yeah.
and they canceled it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but we definitely got the tech that do it really well these days. And that would be cool. That would be cool. Assassin's Creed, absolutely. We've talked about some of the things they're trying to do with it, but they're gonna screw it up. But this should be a franchise. It most certainly should be.
I
They
think
should have they should have made a lot of
Dragon
money with that, but they
was
didn't.
Anne McCaffrey.
What do you say?
Dragons of Pern was Anne McCaffrey,
Anne
I think.
McCaffrey. Yeah, Anne McCaffrey. I knew it was another lady.
Yeah,
It's surprising how many women actually do shit. I was told that women
well,
aren't allowed to do anything. There's some kind of ceiling made of glass or something.
Tracy Hickman, to be fair, was pretty instrumental in the Dragonlance stuff as well. So
Yeah.
it wasn't.
No, there's a lot of I was being sarcastic.
But that being said, I've read Margaret Weiss books that didn't have Tracy Hickman, and they were still pretty good. So
Yeah. No, the Dragonlance stuff was definitely fun. I love the Dragons of Pern series. That was fun. I love Piers Anthony. I love his stuff. But
never.
it's very whimsical. It's not for everybody. Yeah.
Who was the one that died? David Eadings. I've read some of his work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good stuff out there, man. There's so much stuff to pick over, but they don't. I don't know the process, the people involved in the process. I have a feeling the process is flawed.
It is.
I have
Probably.
a feeling, yeah, because there's
Have
so
you
many
read,
properties.
Have you ever read the Deathgate cycle?
No, I haven't.
That's Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman when they left Dragonland.
I see. Yeah, but I mean, even if I don't know, I can't remember the writer offhand, but what if we did just the Crystal Shard series? Right, with Dritz Stewart and in the Forgotten Realms, those 3 books, that would
Ari,
be a banger series.
Ari Salvatore.
Yeah, Salvatore. That's
Yeah,
right.
somebody has the rights to that, and they've not done anything with it. They did
Who
like an tank, and it
who owns
failed.
the rights? You said.
I don't know. The comic series was pretty good for a
Yeah.
while.
Well, Dritz is a seller, man. People love Dritz. Duarden.
Somebody bought the rights to that, though. I know because
And he's a black man. Well, a black elf.
Black Elf.
They like that. They seem to prefer that color.
For some reason, yeah.
Yeah, but a
Whatever.
Black Elf is the same as a black
No,
man.
well, I was being facetious. But
No, PSR had a affinity for trying to make them play for a while. I'm not sure what their problem was with that.
yeah, well, I mean, the Salvatore did a lot of interesting stuff with Dritz, but the Crystal Shard series, the first one,
Yes.
was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
and they could easily make that into a fun movie, dude. Easy.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think, unfortunately, it's all related to Dungeons and Dragons, and you saw how much of a failure the movie was, even though it was actually good.
It was good. It was fun. It had a lot of love for D&D in it, which was great.
Yeah.
The last on this list here is Jumper. And unfortunately, it had Hayden Christensen in it. But the concept, you could do a lot with that. Although, you guys ever see that movie Push?
Yeah, one
Yes.
Set they filmed it in Thailand.
Jumper too.
Powers. I mean, all those kind of movies that try to take a very realistic look at humans having superpowers, right? Jumper or
Yeah.
teleporters, right? I wouldn't focus just on the teleportation, but take something like Push and build, take some people who know what they're doing, build out a proper world, and try to do a serious movie series on it. I think there could be fun there. I don't know how well Push did though, but let me go check because it was a little sleeper, dude.
I don't think it did that well.
Oof, 23%, dude.
Yeah.
Um, why that movie is at least a 60, dude. I don't know what you're on about. Oh, yeah. It didn't make any money, that's for sure. I don't
Nope.
even I don't even think they might I don't even think they broke even. Although it wasn't an expensive movie. So, but that why it's IMDb has it as 6. Okay, that's more realistic. Why did Rotten Tomatoes hate it so much?
I don't know. Wasn't gay enough for him.
It might be. Push is a chase film dolled up with supernatural powers and chintzy retro design motifs. And what's wrong with that?
I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
clever.
I liked Push.
Yeah. This guy who liked it says, or person, I don't know, maybe I don't know, man or woman. The script has no deep meaning. Does it have to? And the film does just what it was intended to do: take an audience on a fantastical journey with loads of action. Yeah. Uh-huh. Let's see here. Um, the result is mildly entertaining, but occasionally tiresome. Really? Why? Okay, would you like to elaborate, Mr. Eggert? Ambitious, but alarmingly confusing thriller set in Hong Kong. Dude, was it in Hong Kong or was it in Bangkok? Maybe it was Hong Kong. But what was confusing about it?
Not gay enough.
That probably true. Probably true. Anyway, let me move on.
I think that's my everything at this point.
Yeah.
Amazon's Gen V takes a swipe at Elon Musk, kills the goat. Wait, what?
Now, Gen Generation 5, I think is what it's supposed to mean, or whatever. It's it is a continuation of the boys, but the
Yeah.
boys I think was too problematic for them because we have a writer that wrote something amazing and they were screwing it up. So they said, well, let's just make a little spin-off thing that we could do whatever we want, and they've just gave the hell out of it, of course.
Of
But
course. Yeah.
in a scene, they're testing out a new girl with her powers here, and they bring in a goat, and the goat's name is Elon. And he said to focus your powers on it. She said, "What if I kill Elon?" And of course, she blows up Elon. And then the guy says, "Oh, that's why we named them assholes after assholes, right?" Here's the exploded goat. Before, after, before, after. Basically, they're just being super political in this show. Of course, they have what's new. This guy who is involved in this stuff. What's his name here? Um, Kripke. He is very, very anti-Trump. He's very, very political, and the whole thing with the boys, and of course Gen 5, now is to be super political and anti-Trump and fight the fascists. So there you go. That's what you got. But now they're targeting Elon, and blowing him up, killing the Elon. But Musk said, "No problem. That's fine. I blew up a small hot dog called Jeff Bezos, so I guess we're even."
Be right back real quick.
So
Yeah, I mean, why are we? I don't know. I just don't care anymore.
no, I don't. But I just thought it was funny because they're they're so desperate. They're so desperate. Hear me roar, hear me scream. Trump's a baddie. That's all they want to. That's all they want to do. They cannot get Trump out of their head, dude. Everything is
No.
Trump, and they can, and therefore they're incapable of seeing anything else beyond that lens. And
Yep.
just a shocker to the world. There's a lot more things going on that have nothing to do with Trump at all that you would think they'd
Yeah.
be interested in. Maybe
I don't know. These people are scum.
they
I'm
are.
so sick.
They're suffering from mental illness. It's called TDS. Yeah. But it's just crazy. I was talking about earlier. You weren't in. I was talking earlier, starting off where you have all these rioters in these cities, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why Trump, or not even Trump, just the people in charge of FBI and all those various organizations, just arrest them. They're rioting. They're not protesting. They're rioters. Arrest them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand it either at this point. Like the only thing I can think of is the pussies.
Yeah, they're worried about political backlash, I guess. But honestly, just arrest them all. All of
It
these
doesn't
political leaders,
look
governors,
back no
mayors.
matter what they do.
What do you say?
They're gonna have it no matter what they do.
That's true. But I'm saying it's not. Don't. It isn't just the rioters. You have all these political people, mayors,
Yeah, judges should
governors.
be arrested.
They
Mayors should be arrested.
they
Not
should
all the
be.
crap they're doing isn't constitutional.
No, it's
Did you
not.
see? Did you see the? I posted in the chat in the general on the Discord.
Mr. Rogers.
No, it's a soldier or somebody that must be in the military explaining the oath that they all take to the idiots that keep saying, "Well, you need to hold up your oath to protect the American people." Because that's what they keep telling these
Right.
the soldiers or the National Guard that they're sending into these cities, that they're not abiding by their oath. And
Sure they are.
he on watch the video. He goes on to explain exactly how they are abiding by their oath.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely are. I mean, this is illegality. Not only the rioters, but also if you're an illegal alien. Well, it's kind of in the title,
Well,
right?
also there's the factor that they are supposed to protect from foreign and domestic. What do we have right now that's going on? Domestic
Oh yeah,
as
no.
well as
They are supposed to
which
protect from foreign and domestic. It's in the oath. That's true.
correct. That's what he says in the thing too. Is like they're supposed to uphold the peace and protect from the citizens from foreign and domestic. Well, we're seeing the domestic right now.
Sure. And it's outrageous what we're seeing. It's completely outrageous. But, people like Maxine Waters and, all these politicians that keep calling for violence because that's what they're doing. It's not sure they're not sugarcoating it. Some people are a little smarter, like Newsom. He's smarter. He doesn't put it so directly, right? But you get so many of them, calling for violence, saying that the country's in a crisis, it needs to be dealt with, Nazis, fascists, on and on and on and on. This is inciting action. It is
Yes.
illegal. They should be arrested. It's very
Yes.
simple, and then
It
of
is.
course, but they're so terrified of political backlash.
I guess I don't know what they're terrified of. Not losing their country, evidently.
Oh, they don't care about that. We've seen quite clear with the Democrats, they're more than willing to burn it all down to get what they want. They don't
I'm not
care.
talking about the Democrats. I'm talking about the people that are in charge right now. The Democrats aren't in charge.
Oh, you talk about the Republicans. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
the Republicans are useless. Let's be fair.
absolutely.
They're a bunch of pussies. They're browbeat and they're not worth anything. The only real solution you got is Trump just pushing it through. We know he wants to, but he's hesitating, and it's probably because he has a lot of voices in his ear. But I mean, it's very simple. Arrest these people. It's outrageous. And get on with it. All of this stuff needing a government shutdown for him to, reduce the federal government is nonsense. He's literally in charge of the executive branch. Literally, he has full right to do that. But
Yeah,
me personally, with the shutdown, I hope it's always shut down. Never create another budget again. Never. We don't
yeah.
need it.
The shutdown is not even remotely part of the problem.
No, it's not. Um, but it is a handy little thing. I'd just leave it shut down because all the stuff that needs to get paid will get paid, right?
Well, it always does.
Yeah, always. So but yeah, but this mentality of these people, and so look, I got him. I got him. Right? We tore down that Elon Musk. We got him by blowing
Yeah,
up a goat we named after him because we only named goats after assholes.
yeah.
The
They're children.
pettiness. Yeah,
They're children.
they are children,
They act-
but they have access and they have power and they have wealth, right?
Yep.
I mean, a good example, Sean Penn. Now, Sean Penn, fair actor. Don't know if everyone agrees. He's not for everybody, but he's definitely capable. But keep in mind, this guy grew up directly with the Estevezes, right? The Sheens.
Mhm.
And George Clooney and all those guys, they all grew up in Malibu. They're all the same little pack. We know how Charlie is, right? And they're all his buddies. They're all in that. This guy's an absolute drug head, Sean Penn. I mean, just outrageous things this guy has done in his life, I am sure, right? But
Oh
yet
yeah,
he has the gall to stand up and tell people what is politically right, what is morally right. You, of all people, think you have a right to tell others what is morally correct? Sean
yeah.
Penn?
Sean Penn.
But then they're all like
Sure.
that, right?
They are all.
And the ones who aren't are the ones who weren't born in Malibu, who didn't grow up in Hollywood, right?
Yeah,
The ones who came in, like Chris Pratt or things like that, people that came in from outside, they're not part of that cancer, right?
sure. Yeah, yeah. I will give Sean Penn credit. I saw that he came out against the people speaking violence and okaying the fact that Charlie Kirk got shot.
Oh, well, fair
Shock,
enough. That's nice.
shocking.
It's nice of him, even though he gives his Oscar awards to foreign dictators, you know, invites them to his Malibu house.
Yeah, I can't stand him, but
He was Roger. Have we not got Thunder Hour back? That's okay. I'm going to move along. Would you like to read the title?
uh, Peacemaker ratings tank, proving James Gunn's Superman does not matter.
Well, I think the point here is, first of all, Superman didn't make the money they wanted it to. Although I think it probably in the end will break even. We'll look at it again here today when we get to the box office. But it didn't make anywhere near the money they wanted it to. But it also wasn't a flop. The Peacemaker was season 2, I guess, 3.
Yeah,
Is not doing well in the ratings. Now,
yeah.
I wonder why that would be.
Mm.
I wonder why. We go episode 1, everybody's like, "Yay!" and then it just drops off, like a freaking cliff. So why do you think it might be that Peacemaker is not doing well? Because they're like, "Oh, well, James Gunn moved. He pulled Superman from the theaters early so that they could get it out on the Blu-ray and get out of the way for his Peacemaker," is what he said, right? Now, I think they pulled it out of the theaters because it wasn't making any more money. So they made the money they're going to make. So get on with it. And like I said, in the end, I think this will break even. But uh, you know,
Yeah.
him saying getting out of the way for his peacemaker, there seems to be no connection. But maybe there's something else that is hurting Peacekeeper, right? Maybe, just maybe, there's something else. Uh,
Mhm.
would you read this title here?
James Gunn's DCU mocks Jesus Christ, glorifies Nazi world. Yes.
Yes. Now,
That that might not be such a great idea, James.
yeah, maybe there's a reason Peacekeeper isn't doing great beyond having anything to do with Superman, seeing as there's zero connection between the two. Zero, right? Um, but I watched season 1 of Peacekeeper. Did you?
No,
No. You didn't miss much.
I know.
You didn't miss much. It had a
I'm not
couple. Yeah,
a
go ahead.
fan. I'm
Oh
not a
no,
John fan.
John Cena, and I mean, a lot of wrestlers try to become actors and fail miserably, right? Um, John Cena is capable of being an actor.
Oh, I'll give you that. Yeah. No, I at one time wanted him to be an action star. I just don't like him anymore.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, he is the company man, 100% a company man. He'll do whatever they tell him to do, and a lot of
Yep.
people don't like that. But and that is a problem with a booster. John will do whatever's asked of him, and uh, the problem with James Gunn is he is a degenerate.
Correct.
That's just the end of it. I mean,
Yeah,
whether you
that's
want, yeah, I mean, that's the end of the conversation. He's a degenerate. Now, if you want to
well,
get,
it comes from trauma. So if you know
it
anything about
does.
trauma, it shouldn't surprise you that he is what he is.
No, it shouldn't. Now, I understand that, say better than that maybe Thundero does, because Thundero will not forgive all his pedophilic jokes. He will not. I know where
Correct.
James Gunn is coming from. I understand he was just trying to be an edge lord, right?
Uh-huh.
It's
Maybe.
disgusting, but I get it where he's coming from. But beyond that, he's just a degenerate anyway, right?
Right.
And the Peacemaker, I think, is one of the few places he's free to let his degeneracy flow,
It is,
right?
for sure.
And that season 1 was just full of it. I mean, there are literally dildos in the background of the scenes everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
He is obsessed with dildos. I don't know what his problem is. I mean, James, they're not for you, buddy.
Well, I mean, he does have orifices.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
You don't know what
sorry
he
for
gets down
me
to.
being old born and puritanical.
You don't know what he gets up to, Chester.
Well, I can imagine he's pretty bad. But so season 1, it had a couple of chuckles in it. It did. But it's very forgettable. Matter of fact, I don't even remember the whole point, even though I watched it. And it's definitely got its woke stuff. Although I do feel it gelled itself better than a lot of forced woke stuff does. I'll give it that. I haven't watched season 2 whatsoever, but he's really, really, really letting his politics flow. Whereas other things he's restricted, right? Superman, he couldn't do it so much. But in this one, it's very anti-Trump. It's white people bad. He hates Christians, boy. Whoo! He hates him some Christians. Now, is this
Yeah.
what
Jewish.
is he a Jew?
Yeah,
He is.
Yeah.
his last
Yeah,
name isn't Gunn.
yeah. The I don't know why the Jews hate Christians so much, but they do.
They always have.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they did kill somebody important
Yeah,
to the Christians. I would
well,
say
somebody. Yeah.
a little
Mhm.
bit.
I'm
Yeah.
told.
Although to be fair, Herod and Pontius were a little conflicted. Even Herod was like, why? I mean, if you read the story, Herod gets a lot of shit put on him, and there's a couple of Herods, and they both get shit put on them. But the Herod of
Yeah.
that time, he was, because the religious authority was pushing hard to deal with this guy, and he was like, yeah, because Herod was more secular, right? He was a rich man. He
Yeah.
enjoyed that. He enjoyed his wine and his women, but he didn't really get what the whole problem with him was.
No,
So yeah,
the Bible's pretty clear about that too.
it is. It wasn't all of them, but it
Hmm.
was just the religious hierarchy. But nevertheless, uh, he is basically making a very strong point because they're jumping through all alternate universes in this season. Because I haven't
Oh,
watched
okay.
anything, and they go to one where the Nazis won, right? Uh, and
Oh, original.
right.
Didn't we do that? Man in High Castle.
Exactly, and there are many other examples. But
Like,
he's really trying to drive home that the Nazis were Christians. Now, that's interesting because
yeah,
the usual mainstream line against Nazis is the fact that they were atheists. You hear that a lot. Now, of course, it's ridiculous. They were staunch Catholics, right?
well, they also practice a lot of paganism too, and behind the scenes, some of
Well,
them.
those guys. But to be fair, that's the whole problem because what happened with that situation is you had this charismatic guy came up with our Austrian painter there. And honestly, I don't think he was a particularly clever fellow in the
Yeah,
end. But he was very charismatic, and he was sick of the austerity actions. He was sick of all these things that were against, and the Jewish bankers that were taking advantage, which they were, right? They were just sick
Mhm.
and tired of the Treaty of Versailles, and he was pushing back against it, and the sentiment of the people were behind him. And he got some authority. He got in power brutally, and but then he did a lot of great things for Germany. But
yeah,
along the way, you had some pretty insidious fuckers in the background came up and absconded with that entire movement. These are the pagans you're talking about.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, the Austrian painter himself was not part of that. Now, did he get pulled into by the allure of it? We don't really know. Maybe,
Not
probably.
sure. Yeah,
Uh, but
probably.
but I mean, but the many people have tried to obscure the history of how Catholic the Germans
Oh no,
actually were.
I mean, he went and met with the Pope right before he went and did the things he was doing.
He did. That's right. And of course, they went and they also helped to assist the Spanish with their communist civil war that was going on as well. No one talks about that
Because,
either. However,
yeah.
um, it is interesting that James is kind of bucking the narrative and showing that, oh, yeah, the Germans were very religious. They're very Christian. And he's using it to show how horrible Christians are. Look, Christians are Nazis, is what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Now, he's got several gay characters in the show. One that wasn't gay in the first season that is now gay. Okay, great. But they're trapped in the Nazi universe, and the judo master, who is worth a lot of chuckle, by the way, he's quite funny. You don't want to be in minority here, or gay, or Buddhist, or anything. I am really whatever. Jesus Christ. Oh, him they love. Oh, okay. All right. Lots of big biblical references, a lot of anti-Christians stuff going on here, but along with it, he really seems to dig the Nazis, though. James thinks they were pretty cool.
Of course he
Weird,
does.
weird combination of stuff. But my point being is, um, trying to blame Superman of getting in the way, because see, these articles even separate it, of getting in the way of the success of season 2 of Peacemaker is rather ridiculous. It's failing because people tuned in and were like, what the hell is this nonsense? And then they
Yeah.
tuned right out.
Yeah.
They've dropped, what is that, 90? No, that's more. That's a full from 3,338 down to 386. Holy dude. That's a
Is it enough
huge.
for him to lose his movie deals? Because I'm okay
That
with
would
that
be
at this
nice.
point.
Now they've lost. None of the. No, it's not showing on Nielsen's whatsoever, by the way, and that's how the actual metric that matters. when it comes to executives. But James Gunn's showing his stripes here, Thundero.
Yeah. No, I've been saying it since the beginning. He not only is the wrong fit for this job, he's incapable of doing what needs to be done because DC, for the most part, should be far more wholesome in a lot of its storytelling than like Marvel. You can get dark, of course, but especially Superman, Supergirl, I would even say Wonder Woman, even though she can be a little brutal. But the mainstream version of Wonder Woman typically isn't. So it should be a little bit more wholesome. And he's just the wrong guy for that job. He's not wholesome. He'll never be that guy.
No.
He's a degenerate. They
He
needed
is.
somebody who could get in there and tell good stories
He can.
with a wholesomeness, a richness. That's the problem. That's my big problem with the new Superman movie. It's bland. It's not
Yeah,
rich. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have that, oh, I want to watch
Yeah.
this again and again quality about it. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
I seen it. All right.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because one of the great things about the one that everybody loves, of course, the original Superman movie, is how rich it is, how much it's satisfying to watch. And I just don't think James Gunn has that in him. You could give Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'll be honest, I have no desire to watch any of those movies again. It's just not in me. Now, you give me a movie like Bullet Train, I'll watch that right now. That movie's fun. It's rich.
Yeah,
It's
it's a lot of
satisfying
fun,
to watch.
colorful,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what DC movies should be. They should be colorful. They should be interesting. They should have, DC's one of its strengths, I think, is how its characters aren't as human as Marvel's because that was the juxtaposition, right?
They're
And
gods.
so you can do much more wacky things with them, but it's fine because they're wacky. They're outrageous. They're one of the reasons why like Adam West's Batman era worked and why it was fun is because Batman's kind of silly when you think about it. He's kind of silly
Can be,
as a
yeah.
character, but it works. You can get campy with it. You can have fun with it. It gives you a lot more flexibility. And I get why people thought James would be able to do that because of Guardians of the Galaxy and how much fun those movies can be. The problem is he doesn't understand the difference between something that's irreverent fun and something that's wholesome fun. Superman needed to be wholesome. It needed to be rich and robust. Not
the thing about Guardians too is that they are a bunch of like bandits and rebels. So
Yeah, they are. They're pirates.
When it comes down to the grassroots of it, right? So yeah, of course, that's not a wholesome group of people. They're a bunch of outlaws. Superman is not that though, and that's what you're getting at. And I agree with you 100%. That's why I didn't think he was going to be the best pick for it either. And I knew where he came from too. Like when I saw that he was doing Guardians, I was like, "Oh, that's a good pick for Guardians." When I saw they were stupid enough to give him DC, I was like, "These guys are morons." Like, I honestly have checked out completely. Like, I watched the Superman movie because I was told it was pretty good, but that's the first DC film I've watched in I don't know how long, and it just confirmed that I'm right. I'm checked out again because honestly, like, I don't care. I want them all to fail. I want all these people to fail. I want them to be freaking homeless.
Wow.
In the streets.
Right. Fair enough.
They
got a lot of money though. I don't think that's happening.
Well, I know. They do. But my point is I don't care about any of them anymore. Like I've said it before, but fuck them.
Yeah, no, fuck them. No, I understand. Agree. But yeah, sad. But honestly, like I said, I watched Peacekeeper season 1, and meh, it's all right. It has a couple of chuckle moments, but it's completely forgettable. Completely forgettable. And personally, I just think it would be nice to see James Gunn go away. But speaking of men in high towers, I mean, that's the problem with people like Zazoff and others. They really can't see the bottom from where they are. They don't really understand the pulse of things and how things feel and how they are. And you get this kind of nonsense. We've had a run for quite a while of a lot of stuff that is brutal, overly sexualized, and extremely gory. We've had this for a long time. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a place for it, because there is, but it's not. It shouldn't be so mainstream, right?
Yep.
And I think this is one of the problems that they're really running into with that as well. The average family is not interested in that, right? Like, I enjoy Terrifier, but I like that kind of stuff. I understand that most people would hate that movie. I get it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I'm glad that it can make enough money that they can keep producing what it is they're trying to make. But I know it's never going to make, just stupid money, because it's not that kind of thing. The Boys, look how absolutely bloody that is. It's so grotesque.
I mean, it's the boys, so if
Right.
you didn't,
But they're taking that thing, which is niche, and trying to mainstream it.
yeah, they're stupid.
Yeah. It's weird. Make your thing for the audience that exists, but they refuse this. But anyway, let me move along
Well,
here.
this is my problem with Superman as well. Um, of all films, you're talking about the family film, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not. It's not like
It's not. Yeah.
evil or anything like that. It's not appealing. Like my
And
kids saw the ad for that and was like, "That looks dumb." That was literally their word.
but I also think another thing, beyond that, I don't think they realize that the average person is not as degenerate as you,
Well, no, they don't.
right? The average person doesn't say, "Oh, cool, funny." They're like, "Ew, eh," right?
Or the
Uh,
average person is as admittedly degenerate. I mean, one or the other. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, but I
I
think
think
the
there's
average person is not incredibly degenerate, actually.
no overall.
I mean, when you get into the progressive left, their whole identity is sexual. Everything about them is
That
sexual. So you're going to have some more degeneracy there than you would outside of it. For fair enough. And this is the argument you have when it comes to alternate sexualities and things like that, because you don't have people saying, "Oh yeah, well I'm gay," and that's the end of the conversation. Their whole identity is based upon sex. Everything
yes,
about them is based upon sex. Now, all humans
yes,
enjoy sex, for sure. It's a part of life. But there are many more things in life than just that.
yeah,
But their whole identity, everything about them is sexually identity, sexually identified. And this is a problem because they can't raise their head above it and see other things.
correct.
And they're taking that and flooding it into the movies and trying to make everyone else degenerate as well. And of course, this adds on to the internet and the freedom of access to pornography and all other kind of things like that. And
Yeah,
people just don't have control, and you're seeing there's problems. But and James Gunn is a symptom of it, because
yeah,
that dude
definitely.
is seriously degenerate, dude. Seriously.
Oh yeah,
So, and that's coming from me. And in Thundero's opinion, I'm a degenerate.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. In fact, Mr. Busby, you are. AMC
Okay.
brings panels and previews to New York Comic Con 2025. Anne Rice, Walking Dead, Shudder.
Now,
Shudder.
Shudder,
Shudder.
which makes horror movies, right? Um,
Yes.
now, this is kind of interesting because why is The Walking Dead not dead yet? But
People still watch it.
yeah,
they still do.
Pe-
Now, you have the Daryl Dixon thing. He's over in France, of all places. So there's that. Has that came out yet? Or has anyone seen that, or is that coming?
It's out, I believe, but I don't think
Uh,
I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but it is out. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
All right. Shudder's got its 10th anniversary. Nice. I've seen a few Shudder films that are fun. They also have her Immortal Universe. Now, I did see this trailer. Did you guys see the trailer for Talamasca, The Secret Order? Have you seen that
I did
trailer?
not.
It's basically a secret order of watchers who maintain, okay, where are the vampires? Where are the witches? Where are all these other supernatural things? And they just monitor and watch. And there's a bit of a conspiracy going amongst their ranks, and some young kid gets pulled in. Is the trailer? Okay, fine, could be fun, but it is Anne Rice, so and she seems to
Oh,
have involvement with it. So it's going to be mega gayed up because Anne Rice is
oh,
all about the gay.
she's isn't she dead?
Is she? I have no idea. Someone is
Yeah,
involved
no.
with it from her
Pretty
from
sure-
that though. Is she dead? I didn't hear she died.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she died.
I didn't hear that.
Maybe it's a Mandela effect. I don't know. Let's see.
She's not that old.
Well, she she died December 2021, age 80.
Wow. Wow, she's way older than I thought she was. But anyway,
Yeah.
still, we'll see what happens with that. Trailer's interesting though. The Vampire Lestat is also coming. So you have that if you're interested. But uh, given
Yeah.
modern conveniences, these are, if you read the original books, they are gay stories. They are literally gay books, literally.
Yep.
So you're going to get to that, and maybe that you don't have a problem with that. It could be good. But we got The Walking Dead. I have zero interest in this whatsoever. I haven't watched this since season 4. Shudder celebrating, sweet. But what do they got here? Shudder is here to scare the shit out of you. They have a panel. Evolution of queer horror, sweet. Queens of the Dead. Now I don't understand. Oh, Queens, I get it. Okay, that kind of queen. So go see that at New York Comic Con. How about no? But
Mm.
AMC's going to Comic Con. Got to have them some reveals. But boy, what's this actor's Reedus? Something Reedus, right?
Norman, I think his
Yeah.
name is.
Yeah,
Norman
he
Reed.
is looking tired, dude.
Yeah, it looks rough.
He looks rough. Now, is that just the busy schedule and age hitting him, or is that drugs?
I don't know.
A lot of these Hollywood types have problems,
Yeah. I don't know.
No
He's
one to
got to
say
be in
no.
his 50s by now, ain't he?
He's
Well,
got to be.
I'm in my 50s and I don't look anywhere near as rough as that dude.
Yeah, he's 56.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah,
Same
but
age as
some
me.
people age. Some people age badly, just.
Same age as me. Yeah,
Uh,
he's not aging well. Yeah.
but no,
Oh,
because
I think.
I forgot this, but the wife and I just watched all the Blade movies over the last week
Uh-huh.
because why not? And
Sure.
he's in the second one. He's one of the main characters, side characters of the second one, and very
Yep.
young
Yeah.
Norman
He is
Reedus.
young. Yeah. Well, have you seen the Blade TV series?
I saw some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a TV series, it's not the level of the movies, but I thought it was all right.
Yep. Yep. No, it's fascinating that they can't figure out how to make a Blade movie. It's just shocking to me. They can't put this together because it seems like the simplest thing in the world.
Well, because they don't
Big
want
black guy
Blade, they
kills
want his daughter.
vampires.
Yeah, they don't want Blade, they want his daughter. So
Yeah.
It's
Reality.
one of the things that has always frustrated me about these retards is how they go on and on and on about representation and we need more black this, black that. The very movie that kicked off Marvel making movies on a grand scale was Blade.
oh yeah.
It was the first Blade.
It was good and simple and straight.
And
Wesley was
it's
fun.
right. Wesley was the perfect casting. Like everything about it was just. They actually had a beautiful black woman as his love interest in the first one. I said, wait a minute. I didn't think Hollywood knew how to do that. Oh, that's right. They did back in 1990, whatever it was when that came out.
Oh, sure.
One time.
They don't know how to anymore.
Oh yeah, no, you can't
Quick.
have. I mean, their obsession with making sure white people are not together, and there's always
Yeah.
90% of the time it's a black person. Their obsession with that,
Yep.
they inadvertently missed the point that well, you're also disenfranchising the black people at the same time.
That's right.
Right?
Most
Because
people stick to
shocking,
their
most
own.
blacks kind of stick to their own. Shocking
Yeah.
and all that.
I think it's like around. I can't remember the data, but it's ridiculously high of
Of
how many
course it
people just
is.
stick to
That's
their
how
own.
humans are. All people
Yeah.
tend to stay together. That's just I'm a rarity,
Yes.
right? I'm
Yes.
very rare. I even was chastised by my aunties.
Well, it's okay. Japanese are white now. I have it on good authority.
Yes, well,
Uh,
they are
yeah,
classified within the Caucasoid
we brought them in.
genetic group. Yes, they are.
Brought them in.
Well, there's reason. It's the Ainu. That's why.
Hmm.
Anyway, I'm getting close to my time. My wife just came in, and I've got a little bit of passport things I need to deal with. But
Uh-oh.
let me come over here and take a look at our box office mojo and see what we got. First thing I want to do is take a look at Superman here. Where is it? It should be here, right? Has it fallen off
Ooh.
the list? Maybe
If it's
because
out of
they
theaters, yeah.
they pulled it out of theaters. Let me go search it.
Yeah, it's not in theater.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why. That's not how you spell Superman. Okay.
They got the big Tron movie out here.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
comes
but
out
it's
this
got
week.
Jared Leto in it.
Yeah.
Another degenerate.
Yeah.
There we go. Oof.
Yeah. I still think it's going to make its money back in the long run, though. It's
Probably.
close. It's close. $300 million in their pocket with Netflix deals, Blu-rays, toy sale. Well, I don't know how merchandising sale, stuff like that. I think they'll get it because this movie needed to about what 500 million, right? So yeah, I think they'll be okay, but they certainly didn't make profit on this, and they certainly didn't make anywhere near the money they wanted. And it's because they spent too much damn money. I mean, $600 million worldwide. Of course, half of that in their pocket. Any normal movie would be jumping up and down, excited about look how well we did. But because of the money they spend, it's not enough. It's insane, dude.
And they didn't even have big named actors in it. None of
No.
these actors that are in this movie are going to demand high dollar.
Yeah.
Nope.
What they spent? Because I watched the movie, Chester. I'm telling you, the special effects are not impressive at all.
It's a
They're just
400
not.
million. It's around 400 million, some odd million.
They're not good. It's
Yeah, it's
I
not.
don't know.
Even the Green Lantern ring looks like his abilities just look weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. They don't look high quality, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a shame.
it's a shame that they did that to him.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, honestly, you got a better movie than most of us expected you would get, to be fair, right?
Yep.
Let's see. This was I can tell you right off, this was another horrible weekend. Horrible weekend. The top thing of this weekend is Taylor Swift, the official release party of a showgirl.
Yeah.
My goodness. Okay.
Oof.
Second place, we have One Battle After Another, which of course is Antifa's Great with Leonardo DiCaprio. What an interesting choice that he made, right? To
Mhm.
make a pro Antifa movie. I'm surprised. He usually kind of stays out of it.
Usually.
Yeah. But nope. So we got a new one here. The Smashing Machine didn't make any money. Okay, this is a story about Mark Kerr. All right.
Yeah, it's
UFC
got The
guy.
Rock in it.
Yeah. All right, that might be all right. Let's see
From what
here.
I've heard, as like reviews, granted, you can't trust critics, but it's been getting pretty well praised. So
Yeah. I've heard good.
This movie, Good Boy, it didn't make any money, but it was. I saw the trailer. It's an interesting premise. The whole movie is seen through the eyes of the dog,
Yeah.
and they go to a place and there's ghostly supernatural nonsense taking place, right?
Yeah.
And but it's all the whole movie is from the perspective of the dog, which I thought was interesting. I will check this movie out. Maybe they did a poor job with it, or people just weren't interested. But I'm going to check this out personally. Let's see. I just checked on Demon Slayer. The ridiculous. Oh my god, dude.
Oh yeah, it,
Jeez.
it's still playing till Wednesday because I'm probably gonna go see it.
Almost 400 million in the pocket. Now, animated movies do take a lot to make, but they don't take anywhere near that much to make. Um, Holy crap, dude! This is such a slam. For a long time, here many weeks here, we were saying Weapons is going to be the movie of the year. I'm thinking no. Demon Slayer, dude. Look at it. My
Yeah,
wife
Pretty
needs
good.
to talk to me. Can you guys give me a second?
It's
yeah.
pretty good. Old Demon Slayer, anime movie of all things, just crushing it, hammering it home running it.
I
Um,
didn't realize how popular Demon Slayer was with younger people, but it is
oh, it's
like
huge. It's
huge.
huge. It's, I mean, it was selling outrageous amounts of copies back in the day. I remember it sold in 1 month the entirety of of Marvel and DC for a year. Did it in 1 month.
Yeah, I do
Just one run.
remember it and
So
just someone like that. But
yeah. So yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely massive. I still haven't watched any of it. I
I have,
started to the other day, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pay attention right now because I was doing something else at the same time. So I want to
yeah,
actually pay attention to it. So I stopped it. But it's I don't know. Everybody I've talked to, I ask, why is it so popular? Like, why? What's going on? Nobody has an answer. It just is. It just simply is.
it's,
And
yeah.
it's like, all right, okay. Sometimes things just hit, and that's just the way it is. I have the same feeling about the Avatar movies. You no idea why they make $2 billion every time they put one out, but they do.
They do.
So
Just like Transformer movies, they just make killer
yeah,
money. Yeah, and fair enough. Whatever. Yeah,
Well,
people are.
speaking of Avatar, they re-released it, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah, I think I
yeah,
saw that.
just yeah, they
Yeah.
did. About it made like 3 million or something like that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
about 5 million.
yeah,
Not bad. That's free money.
free
Um,
money.
yeah, but yeah, no, I know whatever. People enjoy them. Fair enough. That's all that matters is people are having fun and enjoying
yeah.
something, which
Yep,
Hollywood has seemed to have completely forgotten, right?
they've
Um,
abandoned it entirely for ideology,
yeah,
completely
yeah,
and
they
utterly.
have. Because it's just about having, enjoyment. And, sure, the Transformers, I think, are the quintessential example because Avatar movies are better. But Transformer movies are absolute crap. They're horrible.
They are. Yes,
Optimus Prime has been turned into a psychopath, right? Um,
Yeah,
but yet people flock to those movies and they make insane amount of money. Fair enough.
they do. They do.
Yeah. Dinosaur movies too. The Jurassic World, those are not good movies, but they make money. So fair enough. It's okay. Let's see here. Another new one is Bone Lake. Looks like we're getting all the horror movies come out. Yeah, it's the same old shtick. But yeah, people are just not going to the movie theaters, dude.
No,
nope.
They re-released
And
the
that's
Casper movie, I guess.
and I remember saying that in 2020, and I was derided because I said that was the end of theaters. It's never coming back. You'll have a little bit of hits here or there where people go out for the event of it, and that'll be it.
nope.
And it's really, I think, what you're going to see, which was kind of always the case, but for some reason Hollywood forgot. I think you're going to see it shift from summer being the big time because we haven't had a big summer in a while. We've had a couple here or there with like big hits that hit in the summer, but not like we were. And it's going to be more spring is the time. And the reason why is because that's when people finally get the hell out of their house in the cold parts of this country. So they'll go and watch a movie when it comes out in the spring. They're more likely to in the spring
Sure.
months than they are in the summer months. Because the summer's just too damn hot. I don't want to go outside unless I have to. It's
Yeah.
just too damn hot.
Well,
Yeah.
they've re-released Perfect Blue. Why? I have no clue. This is a very niche movie. It's 100% not for everybody. It's called Perfect Blue for a reason. Um, that's bizarre. All right. Anemone.
An enemy.
Okay.
What?
So
What?
drama.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Let's see here. Anything else of interest? Orwell. 2 + 2 = 5. Um, okay. One theater, so fair enough. And then last, the Ice Tower. Geez, 3 theaters. Jean, a 15-year-old orphan, witnesses the shoot for a film adaptation of a fairy tale, The Snow Queen, and she becomes fascinated by its star, Christina, an actress who is
Christina?
just as mysterious and alluring as the queen she is in play. It's a lesbian movie, dude. Okay.
Mm.
What a
Uh,
surprise.
Fair enough. Well, whatever. I actually have no problem you making films for whatever genre that you want to go after. You go for it. Just
Have fun.
stop. Abusing other people's things, and stop yelling at people when they don't support you. That's the problem. I care less. You make all the gay, lesbian. You make whatever movie you want. Go right ahead. But stop yelling at everybody about not supporting you. Fuck right off. It's that
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. We don't care. We simply don't care. The
No.
the breadth and the width of most people's opinions is we do not care.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
Chester,
anyway,
go deal with your pass. What do you say? Your visa? What are you doing? Passport? Something like that. Some
yeah, no,
bureaucratic nightmare.
I just
Sure.
got to update my passport. You got to do it every decade, every 10 years. I just got to
Yep.
get all the. It's just I have to go get a picture taken and sign stuff, and it's not a big deal. It's just the process.
Yep.
It's here. It's been a decade, and it's
10
good.
whole years.
Well, see, I
Oof.
got people to remember shit for me.
Yes. Well, some of them you pay. You pay them a wage to
Well,
do this
yes,
job.
that is true. That is their job to schedule things, and
Just be my rememberer, all right? That's really
yeah,
all I need you
no,
to do.
dude, it's worth if you can afford it, go for it, because it's nice. The only thing I would say, I might have to make an executive decision. The only thing I would say is, how about letting me know a week ahead of time that we're going to do something? How about that? Instead of saying, "Oh, today we're doing this," I'm like, okay, doke. How about give me a warning a little bit? Hey, next week we're going to be taking care of this. I'm be all right. I'm mentally prepared, right? I got to go take a photograph. I got to get a picture of myself.
Mm. Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, it is. How how much does it cost to get the little photo booth shoots pictures in America now?
I have
I
no
don't know.
idea.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Well, you guys don't live overseas, so it's not something you normally have to deal with, right? Because I have to do those kind of things. You have to bring it in yourself. Here in Japan, it's different. Like in America, you go to the DMV and you do all your, updating your license or getting one, and
Yeah.
they take your photo right there. It's part of the process.
Mm.
Here in Japan, you bring your photo with you.
Mm.
You're required to bring it in for all identification. So
Really?
for my visa, because I have a permanent green card, right? So for that kind
Right.
of thing, and my driver's license and my passport and all that stuff, I have to bring photographs. So
Huh.
yeah, but yeah, it's no big deal. But it costs like $30 to get a little
Yeah.
teeny square. How big are those things? An inch and a half or something like that?
Jeez.
$30. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. So anything you want to say, Adrian?
Mm. Uh, I did have something I was. Oh, so I got into watching some Skyrim video the other
Uh-huh.
today, and it's fascinating. Like this one guy modded the crap out of Skyrim
Mhm.
to make it basically Minecraft, but in the Skyrim world. And he did this whole video where he could only use supplies that he could make, and he could trade for like other materials and stuff, but only with stuff that he made. And then he had a timer countdown to the final boss of the game, the dragon. I forget
Right.
its name.
Ender,
And
Ender Dragon.
yeah, so he's like he's trying to build a base and prepare for the final attack of the dragon or whatever.
Right.
Fascinating stuff though. Like what it just amazes me because like I love Skyrim, even though it's one of the glitchiest games at times.
Super glitchy, yeah. Yeah.
But that game still keeps giving.
It does. It is fun. It is fun. I love games that can be modded like that. I enjoyed Skyrim. I've enjoyed many of the Elder Scrolls stuff. I enjoy The Sims, which is very moddable.
Yeah,
I have, I don't know, probably a couple hundred mods, and they're all like, because I like building. I like building in The Sims. That's my favorite thing. Creating properties and houses and all the cool things you do. I love that. Um,
yeah,
and that's a good thing about The Sims. It kind of caters to a very broad audience. Most games don't, because you got some people who love the social aspect of it, the
yeah.
the dress up the dress up doll thing of it. There's all kind of things, the little magical
Oh
supernatural
yeah,
stuff. Me
sure.
personally, I'm in the house building group, and I do love it. But it's only mods make it possible. Now I am curious, because one of the main reasons I don't do much else with The Sims these days, because Sims 3 was great. Sims 4 has become more and more and more gay, mega gay, right?
Interesting.
Now, from the main thing I like about it, that doesn't affect me because you can play the game any way you want, right? It's one of those kind of games. You can mod as you
Right.
like. But it has become ultra gay to the point that men in the game just naturally don't even act male. They're very effeminate.
Mm.
And in Sims 3, you had none of that. Sims 3 was a way better game anyway. Just Sims
Mm-hmm.
4 looks a little better. But keep in mind something we didn't talk about today that I should have. EA, Electronic Arts, has been bought by a conglomerate which includes Saudi Arabian princes and
Ugh,
Kushner. And I mean Trump's Kushner. Married his daughter, what's her name? Ivanka,
yeah,
Yes.
right? So the absolute cataclysm going on with all the EA people like BioWare and all that stuff because they know that it's done. They're done because the Saudis and Kushner himself, they're not going to put up with any of that nonsense whatsoever, any of it.
no,
So I'm kind of curious because the only real, I like Dragon Age, but the last thing came out was bad, dude. Super woke, super gay.
real
It's
bad.
outrageous how much they gayed it up. I mean, extremely so. It's one of the worst gaying ups I've seen in any game, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah, yeah,
And The Sims as well. But the thing I play mainly is Sims. So I'm wondering how the Saudi ownership is going to change The Sims with Maxis.
yeah. I don't
We'll
know.
see. We
It's
shall
an
see.
Yeah, could be interesting. Anyway, thank you all very much. I'll see you in 2 days. Keep in mind, I mentioned earlier, I'll mention it again on the 20th and the 22nd of October, excuse me, the 19th and 21st for you, of October. I am going to be in Korea. So I won't be having any shows that week except for Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition on the Thursday, my Friday, and I'll be back for that. So the week of the 19th, I will not have the Bugbear's Basement or Night Owls. So go ahead, Thunder.
Real simple. Sometimes blessings hurt the most.
Fair enough. Namaste.
namaste.
Later, everybody.